Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I'm excited. Wildcard round weekend. This is the live call-in show. And I've been putting in a lot of work this week, and I hope it pays off this weekend. I think we got some good bets coming your way on Patreon. I'm going to just jump into the Patreon questions fast because I know some people want to come on and come on with the video call. So definitely let's get to some questions. Okay, I have them. Jay Real, I need a good 6-pick teaser. Give me some time on that. But I mean, I would definitely go with the 14 teaser that I did the video for. If I had to add two, I would probably tease the Rams down, but that can be risky. And I would probably, hard to do off the top of my head. All right, let me go to the next question. This is from Richard Kent. I have a 4-leg parlay from August. I hit Kyler Lawson to win the NASCAR championship, Braves to win their division, and Georgia to win the national championship. All I have left is KFC to win the AFC. $20 pays $3,300. Do I hedge now or wait for KC to hopefully make the AFC championship game before hedging? I wouldn't hedge here. I don't think there's any reason to hedge. I think you should just see it out. It was only a $20 investment. And you have to look at how much you're going to get. And who would you hedge with? Like, you would hedge with the Titans, but we know the AFC is going to be a complete dogfight. I think the AFC is more murky and more cloudy than the NFC, so I would not hedge. Like, if we're talking the NFC, you can hedge because I think there's only two possibilities in the NFC, unless the Rams get hot. The two possibilities in the NFC for me, I don't mean to be boring. I don't want to put anyone to sleep, but it's the Packers and it's the Bucs. Unless the Rams can strike some fire and unless you really love the Cowboys, who else? For me, there's just two teams in the NFC. But for me in the AFC, I think the Titans can run it. I think the Chiefs have potential to run it. I think the Bills, even as much as I don't really like their defensive front seven, I think they can run it. Who else? I mean, like, those three teams have really good possibilities to run it. And then also there's some dark horses in the AFC. Like, look at the Bengals or the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders can do it, but the Raiders are certainly catching fire at the right time of the season. I'm not saying they're going to be like that team, that Giants team that was able to upset Brady. The Giants limped into the playoffs at 9-7. They got hot at the right time. They ended up taking away a 16-0 season from Brady. I'm not saying the Raiders can do that, but look at the Bengals, man. If they catch heat at the right time, they can do anything. And that's how this league is, especially in the AFC. All right, thank you guys. What's up, Tico? What's up, Bills Mafia? What's up, Reek Gotti? What's up, Nikisha Flores? Wildcard weekend, yeah, let's go. Wildcard weekend. We've been waiting a while. That week 18 was really kind of anticlimactic for me. Like, it was fun seeing Big Ben sneak into the playoffs, and that Sunday night game was one of the best regular season games I've seen in years. But yeah, I've been waiting for wild card weekend for like 3 weeks, man. What's up, Johnny? Are you going to come on today, man? How you been, Johnny? Anyways, I hope you're doing good, my man. Jarrett, what's up, Jarrett? Hope everything's good with you, Jarrett. Bobby Polo says, good year. I appreciate it. I think we've had a great year. Let's try to win more money. Playoffs can be complicated, but that's why also just to hedge the playoff bets, because we know the playoffs are unpredictable. I've been working on player prop bets for Patreon. So I pretty much went like full autism this afternoon, and I went with I got a good list of player props. So we'll see how we're going to exploit them. Marcus, what's up, my man? What's up, Marcus? I haven't seen you in a minute, my friend. Um, yeah, it's not a bad way to sit in traffic. Make sure you hit that like button, even if you're in traffic. Okay. Yo, what's up, ABG? Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. Got a little bit of sun today. Got some stuff done today. Went full autism with the player props today. I'm feeling good. All right, I'm gonna get to these Patreon questions, and I'm gonna get some people on. Jay Real, how you feel about the Raiders plus 12.5? Okay, so you're asking first half? Oh, or you're asking 12 plus and a half. I'll answer both. I like it because I think the Raiders are going to compete. And I watched the Cincinnati Raiders film last night. Remember when they played in Vegas? And I think the Bengals ended up winning the game by 19. But that game was closer than the score advertised. With 5 minutes left, the Bengals were only up like 3 points. It was a close game the whole way. And one thing the Raiders did was they eliminated the big explosive plays from the Bengals. Yes, we know the Raiders play a lot of cover 3, but also their defensive line made it so Burrow couldn't stand back there and dart it down the field. That's where I'm at. So, Lino Frosto, what American food do you miss the most? Pizza. I miss pizza the most, for sure. I can make chicken wings here, so that's at least a good I can settle. But yeah, man, the pizza here really sucks. And I'm not even a big fan of the pizza outside of New York State. I heard it's getting a little bit better. When I was in Florida, the pizza was just brutal. I don't know if it's gotten better. But yeah, definitely the pizza. And my city's not known for much, but they're known for good pizza. So that's the one thing I miss. Adrian, congratulations on getting married. Thank you. I know some of you guys got worried. Trust me, I did all the research. I don't think this will end bad, but you can never say never in this system. But at least she isn't Americanized, so that helps a little bit. Not bashing the American women who are subscribers, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying, especially when you look at the American laws and all that. But yeah, I'm protected, so everything's good. Appreciate it, Adrian. Mike 87, what's up, Mike? Congrats on the wedding. Thank you, Mike. I wish you two the best. I've already placed Rams -4, San Fran +4, and going against my Pats, Bills money line, but considering some player props. Okay, good. I want to get into some player props. What do you like from this list? Fournette over 61 rushing yards. I like Fournette over 41 rushing yards. I don't like Fournette over 31.5 receiving yards. I think Ronald Jones will get more of those, even though Fournette's been catching really good this year. Gronk over 55.5 receiving yards. I like that, but be careful with that. And Higgins on injury report today, under 65. Yeah. I feel Higgins under 65, but I wouldn't want to bet that because he can get big plays, even though I do think the Raiders keep him in check. Josh Allen under 45. I like that Josh Allen under 45 as well. That was one I was thinking of. And Stevenson on the Patriots over 39.5. I like that one. I wasn't able to find that. When I was looking, they didn't have any of the Patriots running back listed. And one I really like that you posted is Hunter Henry over 33.5 receiving yards. That would be my favorite out of that list. Although I do think I actually think that Josh Allen one is borderline genius because let's back up a little bit. Let's back up to that second Bills-Patriots matchup this year. And the reason why the Patriots lost that game was because they weren't able to keep Josh Allen in the pocket. And when Josh Allen did leave the pocket, they weren't tackling him like they would tackle a running back. They were holding up. They were being timid. And Josh Allen just kept rolling right and hitting with 15-yard passes, hitting with 25-yard passes, hitting him with a 45-yard pass that broke the Patriots back in the game. And then Josh Allen was able to run it. And I think that's what the hoodie's going to take away. I think he's going to take away Josh Allen's legs. And it does make me nervous, though, because the Patriots, they got one really good corner. He's going to be on Diggs. But if Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox, if they have a big game, I worry about that. But if we're just talking about the player prop, I believe it's under 45.5. Under on mine, it was over under 47.5. And I really like that under because I think the hoodie's going to take that away. I think he needs to. Yeah. Ronald Jones is out. Did not know that. Thank you. I still wouldn't bank on Fournette getting those receptions, although he seems to get 3 or 4 every single game. That's not how I would bet my hard-earned money. No one can take away Josh Allen's legs. I don't know about that. The whole first half of the season, he didn't run the ball at all, and that's the case. And look at against Atlanta, I think he threw 3 interceptions, and then he had to start running. So I know Josh Allen's a beast, but I've watched every single game. I think Josh Allen's played in the NFL. Like maybe I missed 2 or 3 this year, but his whole first 2 seasons, I watched every game, and he's also a fumbling liability. Go look at his fumbling stats when he runs the ball. They could take him away. They could take him away, man. Harold Dennis Julatin. Okay, this is another one for Mike, 87. Also saw Kyler Murray, most passing yards, wildcard weekend for plus 1,400. With all the weather-affected games, maybe it's worth a sprinkle. Maybe, but I think Kyler Murray's the guy who takes off with his legs. I think that's how Arizona wins the game. The only chance they got to win the game is if Kyler Murray goes off, like you said. So he has to go off with the arm, but I think he's going to go off with the legs. Like Kyler Murray's player prop is over under 37.5. For me, that's too low. Harold Dennis Julatin. How about the Raiders game? Yeah, man. This Raiders game, let's go look at what the spread is now because it's moved quite a bit since I made the original pick. Let's go look at it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Okay, let's go look at it. So right now it's plus 5.5. Okay. I got worried it was going to stay down at like plus 4.5. I think this Raiders game is going to be extremely close. And I watched that Cincinnati Raiders film last night again, and it only made me feel that same way. And as much as I praise Cincinnati's defense, I did not realize how much vanilla cover 2 they play. I just didn't realize it. And like they're really sloppy, like disguising their man-to-man. Can I give you an example? Von Bell was isolated on one side with Waller. That's a safety against Waller. And they weren't even trying to hide the man-to-man coverage. And Carr's just exploited that. Carr did a good job that game exploiting it. So I am worried about some of these Bengals schemes on defenses. They need to come out with something different because Carr, I know people aren't a big fan of him, but one thing he's a pretty smart quarterback. And if he knows you're playing man-to-man, Renfro and Waller got matchup advantages in that game. Yes, the Raiders don't have the deep threat. They don't have the explosion that Cincinnati possesses. But if you're giving me Waller and Renfro against soft cover 2, and the Raiders' offensive line can hold up, now that's a big question though, because this Bengals front is active. Like we've been talking about the Raiders front being active for 2 weeks, and yes, it was right in the Chargers game. That was the difference. But this Bengals front is also pretty nasty, and this Raiders' offensive line is kind of big, slow, and gruggish. If you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, man. I'm thinking the same way. I think Bengals win with a late field goal, but I like the Raiders to cover. I'm debating on betting it. I have to make up my mind tonight, and we'll see. Yeah, dude. Because I hate begging for likes, but it helps, man. It helps. It helps the video show up. This is interesting. Rank Flyer says Raiders rank number 1 team for luck, but they also have the most penalty yards. That shows that maybe that luck ranking isn't the best in the world. And like we got a luck ranking for soccer, but for me it means absolutely nothing. Zamora with the super chat. John, how do you watch the NFL games? NFL ticket? I use Reddit streams. Don't say it too loud. I don't want my stuff to get demonetized. I use Reddit NFL streams. I put one on my big TV, one on my laptop, and sometimes I'll use my girl's laptop so I can watch 3 at the same time. So yeah, let's go. Let's get to some more Patreon questions. Eldad Ronan. Hey, Lawson, what are the most important tips for betting wildcard playoff games? Are home games overrated now? Do you totally discard past year stats and history? Much appreciated. Yeah, I don't look at the previous years. I don't do much of that. And I don't care if Arizona has a good road record. Does that really mean anything? Does that really mean anything when the bullets start flying Sunday? Yes, you don't want to play a team that collapses. You don't want to bet a team that's collapsing on the road. Home field advantage is still important, but I don't know if it's worth the 3 points that people think it's worth. I really don't think so, unless you have a team going west to east, or you got like a northern team going down to Miami. I don't think the home field advantage is all that much. And plus, do we even have a dome stadium in play? Like, how loud is Tampa Bay Stadium going to be for Philly? You know what I'm saying? How loud is Cincy Stadium going to be for the Raiders? It's going to be a little bit cold for the Raiders, and I think that'll affect them a little bit. But really, how much is it going to affect them? And then Buffalo, New England's used to that type of weather. I actually think the weather favors Buffalo, but I do agree with the guy who was commenting saying that maybe the weather for the Bills-Patriots game is getting overblown a little bit, especially since there isn't going to be any precipitation, and it's going to be cold for both teams. Yeah, man. Sharps are on Dallas. Yeah, that they say that, Sharps, what that stuff, like, what's a sharp in 2022, man? What is a sharp in 2022? What the fuck does that even mean anymore? Like, what does that even mean? Can someone please explain to me what it even means at this point? It just means like rich guys who bet games. That's all it means. So yeah, man. More money than we have. Yeah, but dude, just because a rich guy bets a game, just because Floyd Mayweather bets an NFL game, does that mean he has any information? And that's why I don't like the sharp. And I'm a fucking pro gambler. Do you see me going to a job? Do you see me putting on my hard hat and going to a job and getting my briefcase in the morning? What the fuck am I? What am I then? Do I need to like advertise that I'm a pro gambler? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the sharp thing means nothing, man. It is the dumbest thing. It's just a way to get people like going. I don't even know what it means at this point, and no one can really define it. And I don't want to like pick on people. It's just like, how can we even define it? And then, like, some people think it's like a conspiracy theory that, like, the sharps have more inside information. Like, dude, someone with inside information, they're not going to tell you about it. And for me, man, like, on the Patreon page, there's a lot of people who say a lot of things on the internet. Granted, we know that. We know people say a lot of stuff on the internet. But I know 5, 6, 7 high rollers on our Patreon who literally bet 10, 30, bet 100 G's on some games, and they're naturally rich. What does that mean? Like, are we supposed to worship them? Like, if they make a pick that I don't make, are we supposed to go worship them and automatically bet what they bet? And I understand, like, I think people like using sharps to, like, when there's a bet that goes against the grain. I get it, but yeah, the sharps. Yeah, it's like, does that even make someone a good gambler? Like, most of the money is in the United States is inherited from other people. So, like, if you start with like $1 billion, you can go bet whatever you want on NFL games, and then, like, I guess, like, you're a sharp because you have lots of money. Yeah, I just think it's like, and like that's what I said. Like I understand the term whales. Like I get the term whales. I just never really got the terms like sharps. Oh, with one EBT. What about my guy on the Patreon? I got a guy on Patreon. He bets like 50 to 70 G's a game. What about him? Who knows what he does in his? Who knows what he does that he doesn't tell me about? It's just, yeah, man. It's, yeah. Cash money's a damn whale, man. When cash money goes to the casinos, everything's comped. They give him the penthouse suite. Everything's free. Buffets free. Steaks free. Strippers free. Everything's free for cash money. Yeah, I don't know, man. Do we even know the names of people who bet? Like, and why would you want to bet in the U.S. where you can be tracked so you can have that money taxed? Like, the one guy I know who you guys would consider a sharp is Marty. And he does all his stuff offshore because he doesn't want to pay taxes to Uncle Sam. Yeah. Sharp, man. Yasir, you're sharp, bro. Okay, I don't want to go crazy about the sharp, but no one can really like define it to me. And I'm honestly starting to think we're changing lines because I've seen after our Tuesday show, they change, especially if we're really on one. Especially if it's like, if we like a team who's +7, +8, +9, we end up losing like a point or two just right after the show. And I'm not saying I have a big following. It's only like 17K, 18K people. Not even trying to hype myself up because we know I don't have a ton of people. But I mean, I honestly think we changed that Vegas line. I wanted it to stay at 6. I wanted it to stay at 6. Unfortunately, I got 4 or 5 people who I know follow me who bet a ton. Does that really make a difference? I don't know. I really don't know. And then sometimes it's interesting. You'll see like tons of money will be on one team and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And yet they still won't move the spread or anything along those lines. So sometimes it's a mystery. Okay, let's get to more Patreon questions. I'll take some more as don't bet parlays, Kevin. Don't bet parlays. If you do bet a parlay, bet them for fun. Come on. You know I was going to get on you when you typed that. I almost let that shit slide by, but I'm not letting it slide by. It's playoffs. Get serious. Because this game's tough enough without mixing in the parlays. Because we do this every single week, and we don't take weeks off when we lose, and normally we win. So yeah, I just don't like seeing people waste money. Like a parlay, yeah, do one for fun. But if you're even mixing that in with your record, that means you're betting way too much on them. Zamora 60-90, 16 parlay. Los Angeles Rams -4. I can dig it, although you could get screwed on that one. We could see Arizona lose by a field goal. I don't think so. I think the Rams bully them. Las Vegas Raiders +5.5. Yeah, but we'll see. 49ers +3. Yeah, that's the game I'm still going back and forth with. Tampa Bay -8.5. I actually do like that. The more I had a sober thought today, like I understand what happened last wildcard weekend with the Bucs, and we know the Bucs are limping in, but I think they do body Philly as much as I like Philly. Like look at Philadelphia's defensive scheme. I think they might have the most vanilla defensive scheme in the league. That's just me though. New England +4. Yeah. Although I do think, like, you're getting on dangerous territory with that game because I like the guy who said Bills money line. think Bills' money line would be the best, but I do think New England covers the 4. And Kansas City minus 12.5, yeah. Although that's dangerous, man. It's dangerous whenever you get spreads that much. It's going to be hard to hit regardless because there's going to be one huge surprise. You guys know that, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, people do want that immediate nut, man. And even if they don't get that nut because they got it like 4 weeks ago, they keep chasing it like heroin. Okay. Okay. Let's get to the Patreon questions. Okay. One more question. Is there any chance the Steelers stumble into Arrowhead like the drunk uncle at a party, turn the whole thing into a sloppy shit show, and find themselves with something like a 17-15 victory? Well, they got to do something different on defense. They got to change some stuff around because, correct me if I'm wrong, who watched that last Steelers-Chiefs game? Correct me if I'm wrong here because I only watched the first half. But from what I saw, the Steelers just sat back in too deep coverage, and the Chiefs were able to run it, and the Chiefs were able to throw it. Yes, the Chiefs weren't able to throw deep balls like they want to, but they were able to deep it and dunk it, run it down the Steelers' throat. I don't think so. I did see Mike Florio pick the Steelers today. And Mike Florio, like, I actually respect him, even though he's really, really annoying sometimes. I did see him pick the Steelers in an upset today. I won't go there, though, because I think the Steelers, if you had to rank their overall talent, I think they're like the 24th, 25th best team in the league. But that's just me. And I think they got a terrible receiving core. They got a terrible offensive line. They can't really stop the run on defense. Their corners aren't all that fast, although I do like their secondary and in some ways. And Big Ben takes the blame, but I just think that roster is really bad. Yeah, Catherine. It's one thing that annoys me, and it's one reason why I just beat that dead horse every single week. I'm not even a math guy. We're not going to sit here and talk about stats because we actually watch the games and know how to bet. But just even the stats, the mathematics of it is just terrible. It favors Vegas. Yeah, dude. I've once in a eight-piece parlay, I always lose by one team. Yeah, and you should have just put those on single bets. Just happens all the time. I mean, but going single bets is bold and it's not for everyone, but that's how if you want to make money in this game, that's what you got to do. Okay, here we go. Let's get to some more Patreon questions. Ryan says, I'd come on, bro. You can come on. Okay, this is from Johnny Gonzalez. What's up, Johnny? Johnny's my boy, man. Is it me or does the 49ers Dallas game seem really public, almost like a trap? I do feel like it's a trap, man, because I wanted to bet it all week, but I woke up today. I'm just like, oh, I don't know, man. All I'm hearing is people talking how the 49ers are going to win easy. I think Dallas is the better team on all cylinders. No? That's really close. Let me think about it. Dallas has more they definitely have more dogs and explosiveness. I agree with you there. Just because the 49ers pulled an upset last week doesn't mean they're going to win this week. Cowboys by 10 points, hammer it. The more I think about it, the more I think that might be the right take. I just want to see if the Cowboys can grind a game out, if they get some really tough opposition. Because with the Niners, we all want them to be good because we know they can run the ball. They can stop the run on defense. They can rush the passer. They have all the ingredients. But for me, with the 49ers, it just feels like something's missing. But also with the Dallas Cowboys, I can't trust them. And just throw out that Eagles game, Johnny. But let me tell you one thing that concerns me about the Cowboys. Ever since the Saints game, and include the Saints game in that, I just haven't liked the direction of the offense. and like beating up on Washington and stuff. That's all well and good. But I just haven't liked the direction of the offense. I feel like they've been throwing it too much. I would like to see their run pass metrics because the first 6-7 weeks, man, they were like 50-50, maybe even running it more than throwing it. And that's when I think Dallas is at their best. And there is an inking suspicion, just from me, I don't know if this is from other people, that maybe Dallas can't stop this run, that maybe the 49ers can bully them. Because the Dallas defense, they got like two extreme dogs, like Micah Parsons and Diggs. But I want to know about the core of the defense. I want to know how their defensive tackle play is going to be. I want to know how their linebacking core steps up and takes on blocks. And, Denver ran for 200 yards, but let's throw that out because that was kind of an outlier. And that's where I'm left. I'm still going San Fran. But I woke up this morning feeling kind of the same way you were, that maybe it's a trap. And that maybe you should just trust explosion. And that maybe we're kind of being like that battered single mom who keeps thinking the dad's going to come and return from the cigarette trip and take care of his responsibilities. Maybe that's how we are with Jimmy G and the 49ers. We keep thinking Shanahan's going to cook up that magic just because there's good fundamentals on the team. It doesn't mean shit. So, you kind of just got into my range of thinking with that, and I probably won't be back in that game. Probably won't, although I think the over-under is interesting. And there are some prop bets that are interesting. Like, I really like CD Lamb to go over 61.5 yards. That's one I like. So, and Johnny, if you got time, once I get through the Patreon questions, you should come on and talk about that game because you watch the Cowboys more than anyone, bro. Kyle Jones, hey, Lawson, happy Wildcard weekend. Thank you, Kyle. You too, my man. Let's get this money. Is it smart to ride with teams that have the most momentum, Raiders and 49ers? No. Yes, momentum's a real thing in football. It is a real thing in football. But you have to stay away from that because how much momentum do the 49ers really have? Like, how good did they finish the season? Can't we just look at that 49ers-Rams game and just say that was more about the Rams taking their foot off the gas pedal? Like, credit to the 49ers for making that comeback. But can't we just say that was kind of an admiration and not really a trend? Like, I don't view the 49ers as all that hot going into the playoffs. Raiders, on the other hand, they're pretty hot. And the Raiders got a really good team chemistry. That's one thing we can't overlook. Like, what happened with Henry Ruggs? What happened with Chucky? That stuff was nuclear. On the football field and off the football field. Both had tremendous effects. And I still don't think this Raiders team has recovered from losing Henry Ruggs running those deep routes because he just gave Renfro and Waller so much space. But, man, is there a team with more team chemistry in this league? Is there a team fighting for one another more than the Raiders right now? But can't we just admit that, like, maybe we popped our nut with the Raiders last week while the Sharps were on the Chargers last week? Can't we just admit that and maybe just watch this Raiders-Bengals game for fun? Or maybe hit the under? Let's see. Although, yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I've been feeling under all week in this Raiders-Bengals game. I've been feeling it all week. I don't know about you guys, but this game's so crazy. You could actually see it turning into a shootout. I mean, that's how crazy the Bengals are as a team because they can play both styles. But I think the Bengals really need to run Joe Mixon a lot. If they don't run Joe Mixon a lot, they're going to get upset, my friends. They are. And that's one thing they did in the first meeting to help their offensive line. Joe Mixon, I think, ran it 25 times. Don't quote me. And I think that's what the Bengals need to do. But something tells me they get away from it. And that's why I'm pretty damn sure Raiders cover. So about your momentum question, yeah. Raiders are a different story. I actually think the Raiders have momentum. I wouldn't say the 49ers have all that great momentum, but I think it's something to look into, especially if a team's playing together. That's the main thing you want in this league. Teams who are ready to die for one another. It's a physical game, man. Okay. Lawson, I am still waiting on the go-kart name. Jack, I wanted to say go-kart car for David Carr and be really corny. But let me think a little bit more. Or I'm bad with names like that. The Raiders get their couch by the Raiders are going to get killed by Cincy. Burrow makes a name for himself. All that said, what has changed with the Raiders? Nothing. They've gotten worse. They squeaked into the playoffs because the AFC is weak. They got blown out twice by Cincy this year. Here's my question. Does Mixon play and do they pound him? Okay, that Jack, they played one time, Jack. They played one time, Jack. And I watched that film last night. It wasn't a blowout. It was a 3-point game with 5 minutes left. Bengals had a really good drive, scored a touchdown, and then the Raiders threw a desperation touchdown, and then pretty much the Bengals just ran it in. I think the Bengals ended up winning by like 17, 18, 19 points. It's in that range. That was actually a really close game, the full way through. It was a really close game. I would not call that a blowout. And one problem about that game for the Bengals is there was no explosive plays. They struggled with that cover 3. Joe Mixon was a saving grace in that game. If Joe Mixon didn't go off that game, the Bengals would have lost. And that's one thing the Bengals need to stay consistent with is this run attack against the Raiders. That's why I actually like the player prop like Mixon over 76.5. Yes, it's a lot. It is a ton. But you saw Eckler and how many lanes he got. In a Gus Bradley defense, there's going to be a lot of cover 3. There's going to be a lot of sitting off. So you have to run it against that type of scheme. Okay. Yeah, weather could be a difference. But Jack, you're kind of right though. What really is different with the Raiders? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. But Waller is a top 20 player in this league. Renfro can get open. And you got a Bengals team that their defensive line's good, but their secondary can get torn up. And is Carr ready to push it to the next level? I don't know, man. That's why I'm not picking the Raiders to win the game. But in terms of covering, I think the Raiders can hold serve in this game. And Josh Jacobs is a guy you don't want to count out. Yeah, I love the Bengals front 7. They play ferocious and they're very good at tackling. But are you going to count Josh Jacobs out? I wouldn't. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. I have to take a leak. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to get through the Patreon questions. Then I'm going to get through these questions on YouTube and get some guests on. Man, Okay, let's go. Is that Bills game really not sold out? Someone looked that up on the internet. Normally, Buffalo, they would just go regardless. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, I'm not wearing my chain out like Deebo Samuel, man. Or like, are you talking Deebo from next Friday? Yeah, there's no Deebo in this neighborhood, but yeah, you don't want to play too many games around here. Okay. Timothy Lawson, what do you think about separate bets? Pats +3 first half. I love that one. Raiders +3.5 first half. But the first half, man, it's tough. I haven't bet a lot myself this year, and I haven't been too successful at betting them when I've tried. I wanted to play around. I wanted to play around with it, but I'd like that first half under of Vegas Cincy under 24. The Pats Bills at under 21.5. That's too risky for me. That is too risky for me. But I like that Pats +3 in the first half if you can get it. I really like that one, Tim. Junior, hey, what's up? Big old J Law. Can that be your nickname? That used to be my dad's nickname, but yeah, you can call me J Law. I don't care. Can you explain why you like the Rams on the live show, man? I want to know a little bit more because I think Arizona can cover that 4 or maybe win outright. Listen, man. Okay, I read the question. Murray scares me as well, but we have to be realistic. And I've gone on this rant so many times this week. So if anyone's heard it, sorry. I have to answer the question because it's a good question. And listen, yes, I worry about Murray. I think he's going to run the ball really well. I think he needs to run the ball. But the problem is Murray's going to need to run the ball. I think this Rams defensive line, I think they win the battle against the Arizona offensive line. And can Arizona run the ball? Is one good game against a disinterested Dallas team enough for me to say, oh, this Arizona team's back, they're fixed? No, I've watched the last 6 Arizona games in full. And when I'm looking at Arizona, I'm seeing not a lot of separation from the receivers. Even back when they were good, week 5, 6, 7, they weren't getting a lot of separation, but Kyler was throwing dime after dime, and he's going to throw 4 or 5 dimes against the Rams. Don't get me wrong. He's going to make A.J. Green look good for at least a few plays. But how good is A.J. Green right now? How good are the other targets right now? And I know, man, and I know Kyler Murray's amazing, but I don't think has the weapons to carry him. Like Kyler, he's going to need to go like 70, 80, 90 rushing yards just for him to give Arizona a chance. Now, this Arizona defensive line is interesting. They can get pressure, and then they bring Budda Baker down in the box from the safety position, and he can create havoc. And we know Matt Stafford is an absolute turnover machine. We've made fun of Jimmy G a lot this year for the turnovers, especially the unforced errors. But I'll tell you what, Stafford's been absolutely horrendous this year. But with that being said, I just think we see the Rams running at more than normal. Like whether it be Sony Michel. And here's my question to you. Who on this zone of defense is going to be able to cover Cooper Kupp? And this Odell Beckham edition, you know what? I'm surprised, but it's actually working out. And he's getting open all the time. And most importantly, Odell takes the top off of defense, and he just clears more and more space for Kupp and Higbee underneath. And we even see Kupp getting deep now when he wants to. And you're left with saying, like, okay, I just feel like the Rams have way more firepower. I would take Kyler Murray over Matt Stafford any day of the week. I am worried about the Rams' offensive line when they pass block. At times they can be stagnant. At times they can move with quicksand, and they are susceptible against the speed rush, man. Chandler Jones on the other side of the ball. But Chandler Jones needs to go off, and we just haven't seen many signs from Chandler Jones this year. And when we're looking at the running backs, who you think's going to run the ball better in this game? I think the Rams run it better. I don't know how much help Kyler gets. And when we look at this coaching matchup, you got Boy McVay against Cliff Kingsbury, and I'm just not a big fan of Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, this whole year we've been kind of making fun of his playbook. It's kind of like a Texas Tech college playbook. There isn't a lot of diversity in it. There isn't a lot of sophistication in it. And they run pretty much the same 30 to 35 plays. Yes, they change a lot of formations, but in this league, sometimes you have to be able to push another man back, and you have to have receivers that win battles. I just don't think the receivers win enough battles in this one. Just don't see it. And also Cam Akers is back. I mean, we don't know how much he's going to play, but I just think Akers is better than anything Zona's going to get running. What, like Chase Edmonds, Connor? And eventually, doesn't this Rams defensive line have to answer the call? Don't they? I mean, listen, you're 100% right in being skeptical about this Rams defense. Both safeties are out. Eric Weddle's in the goddamn building. I understand. But sometimes you got to breathe, and you just have to say, okay, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, plus some other good pieces, and you got Cliff Kingsbury on the other side. Cliff Kingsbury's been figured out. Kyler Murray's play hasn't tailed off. Kyler Murray's just got hurt due to Cliff Kingsbury's scheme. Now, okay, Mass is going to be off. Kyler can run it all he wants because next Sunday's not guaranteed. But even with that, even with Kyler making play after play, the degree of difficulty is so high. And I've been saying week in and week out this whole goddamn year, even when Arizona was flying high, I don't think there's a quarterback in this league with a higher degree of difficulty than Kyler Murray. Yeah, you could throw Zach Wilson at me. You could throw Trevor Lawrence at me, but we're talking good teams. We're talking competitive teams. This kid's got a too high a degree of difficulty, and eventually there's going to be a turnover from him. There's going to be 2 turnovers from him, and it won't necessarily be his fault. Just how much separation is A.J. Green going to get for him? What do they got at tight end to help? That's where I'm at. And McVay does have a lot to prove. He really does. But Cliff Kingsbury has a lot. I'm on Rams to win in the cover. I'm not getting off of it. Crazier things have happened in this league. And Matt Stafford could send 2 or 3 airmailed right into the Cardinals, and that could be a wrap. Could happen. That's and Arizona's defense has showed signs this year. Like Buda Baker's phenomenal. Chandler Jones is phenomenal. I just don't think Chandler Jones is playing where he used to be, whether it be injury issues or off the field issues. I don't know what's going on. That's where I'm at. Jordan, what do you think of Eagles Bucks under 52 and Eagles plus 14.5 teaser? I like that Eagles Bucks under 52. The weather forecast for one thing. Plus, I think both defenses are going to come in with an attitude. But I don't know how much my boy Hurts is going to be able to do. I don't know how much he's going to be able to do through the air. That's why I like the under 52. The Eagles plus 14.5 on the teaser isn't something I would touch. I would not touch that. The fundamentals are fine. Hurts is going to play competitive, but I do worry about the vanilla-ness of this Eagles scheme on defense. And Brady, we know Tampa Bay is limping into the playoffs, but I do think Tampa Bay has a chance to blow them out. I don't want to see my boy Hurts get did like that, but it's a good possibility. Here we go. Jonathan Chavez, thoughts on the 10-point teaser, Lawson? Raiders plus 15.5. I'm good with it. Raiders, Bengals under 58.5. I'm good with it, but if it turns into a shootout, you're going to lose that one, man. Pats, Bills under 53. I really like that one. Bucks plus 1.5. Yup, I like that. Bucks, Eagles under 55. Yeah. Niners plus 12.5. Yeah. Chiefs minus 3.5. Yeah. Rams plus 5.5. Yeah. It's just, with a 10-point teaser, it's hard to judge, man. I like, it feels pretty secure, but I don't know if it's the most secure thing in the world. But yeah, it should hit. It should hit. But just keep in mind, though, one of these games this week is going to be a blowout. But you're not getting on the wrong side of any of those. So I agree with the 10-point teaser. Paul Capo, Tampa Bay didn't cover last year against Washington in Wildcard, if I remember correctly. Yes. And it was kind of the same situation, Tampa Bay limping into the playoffs. They really were limping in last year. Jonathan Yim, hey, brother, how much will the cold and wind affect the two games at the Bills and Cincy? I think they will be tighter scores. Now, Ralph Wilson Stadium, the Bills Stadium, has never been an easy place to kick. It just hasn't, man. And you add that cold, and you always get wind gusts there. I think it favors defensive football. It really does, and I don't know if that makes the game tighter. It should be tight. And I'm not expecting a lot out of Mac Jones. But I'll tell you what, if the Bills get a 7-0 lead on the Patriots, it could get ugly. It could get ugly. If the Patriots get the lead, then things are going to be good for them because then they can run the ball. And I want to see if the Patriots have anything different planned for the Bills because they're going to need it. And I think this Patriots defense, I think their main goal is going to be to keep Josh Allen in the pocket. And for the Cincy Raiders game, I haven't really looked into the weather report, but I don't see it affecting that game too much. Considering I would say it actually might help the Raiders more. Thank you for the $20 donation, my friend. What's up, Rev? How you doing, man? First game of the season, Thursday Night Football. Dallas almost beat Tampa Bay as road dogs. Quarterbacks meet for a handshake. Brady said scripted, good game, stay healthy. Dak responded, we'll see you again. Dallas wins this week. They want Tampa Bay. Also, Rams 9-1, last 10 versus Arizona. The Rams 9-10, 9-1 in the last 10 against Zona actually makes me nervous. Actually makes me feel more nervous than affirmative. But we got to judge the games that are on the field. We got to judge the film that's being put out. So that's where I'm at. I'm not wavering on the Rams pick. But I understand why some people would like Arizona because they got the better quarterback. Whenever you got the better quarterback, you always want to ride with that team. I completely understand. But I also think Cliff Kingsbury's a bigger concern than people are making it out to be. Because I understand the Arizona arguments, but no one who's been arguing for Arizona has told me, what's going on with Cliff Kingsbury. Is there anything he's doing good? Here we go. Pat 39.94. That's why you bet Josh Allen over 33.5 pass attempts. I actually kind of agree with that. We'll see if the Bills try to run it a little bit more. We saw these last 4 or 5 weeks against the Falcons, against the Jets. They've been trying to run it more, but that's the Falcons and the Jets. Does that really make a damn bit of difference? Yeah, man. Okay, let's see. Let me know if you want to come on. Send a message on Instagram. Yeah. That sounds good. All right, sounds good. And Michael, man, if you want to come on, let me know. Just send me a message on Instagram. Yeah, definitely, Johnny. Definitely. Yeah, because you got to come on and talk about the Cowboys. Because I even got some questions on that game. I got tons of questions on that game. Okay, here we go. Let me just 1 second. Okay, let's get back in rhythm here. All right, I'm gonna take YouTube questions now. Okay. Yo, LJ, what's up? 3 money line parlay. Você posso trazer água? Obrigado. 3-team money line parlay. New England. Let me think. New England, San Fran, Arizona. I wouldn't risk it on Arizona. I would not risk it. I think that's too risky. I could see New England pulling that though. I think that New England game is obviously going to be a 1-score game. I think it's decided by a late field goal. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, they have been working Singletary a lot. Although, it's going to be a little bit different with all the pressure on them. It's going to be a little bit different because the Patriots actually have a pretty good front. But I actually think you can pound the Patriots. But this Bills offensive line isn't the offensive line to do it. It just isn't. Iago, tem bem. Obrigado. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Oh, dude, that dude's just trolling, man. He was like talking about if people eat like cats and dogs in Brazil. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's like a weak troll. Okay, let me get to some more questions. This is from Miss Soul Glow. The Raiders are giving us Giants vibes where they're the sleeper team no one expects to go to the Super Bowl. They actually kind of are, especially with the pass rush. They're putting out there. I kind of agree, although I really do think they're missing Henry Ruggs a ton. I really do think they're missing him a ton. All right, I'm going to get Tony on first. Let's get him on. Okay, here we go. Tutto perfetto. Okay. Tony, I sent it to you. Okay. All right. Patriots left tackle out. Yeah, I did see that. I don't think the Patriots are going to be throwing the ball a whole lot. Yo, Daniel, you think the Eagles got a chance for an upset? I want to see what this Eagles wide receiving core can do. Because some people took offense earlier this week when I said that I think they have some of the most highest drop percentage in the league. Like Devontae Smith, I've seen him drop so many balls this year. People took offense, but I'm worried about the Eagles receiving core. Are they going to be able to help Hurts? Yeah, hit that like button. And thank you for the comment on the other video, my friend. I appreciate that comment you left on the other video. Here we go. Yeah, Mac Jones is from the South. So I just don't think – but both quarterbacks have to play in the cold weather, and I don't think he's going to, turn into – I don't think he's going to turn into an icicle. And I think Mac Jones is not going to be asked to do a whole lot. The Patriots win this game. They win it with their defense. They win it running the football. But one thing I've liked out of Mac Jones this year is he's been throwing it deep, man. He's been throwing it deep. I mean, you got to respect it. Like, even that Colts game, he didn't look too good, but he still hit 3 or 4 deep balls that were really, really nice. And if he can do that against the Bills, it's going to help. But the Bills have a really good secondary, in my opinion. I really like the Bills secondary. The only weakness of the Bills is that front 7 on their right tackle position. Yeah. Dude, yeah. And I'm not hating on Devontae Smith. I just think he drops the ball a ton. And if I'm Hurts, I don't think it's the most reliable receiving core in the league. Pat 3994, laugh out loud. The Josh Allen over 33.5 pass attempt prop went up to minus 120 once you talk about, dude, that's what I keep saying. They keep moving the lines. And like I wanted to bet Raiders +6. And then the day after we do the Tuesday podcast, I roll out of bed, it's fucking +4.5 on some. It's just, I do think we're moving lines, or someone associated with this podcast is moving lines. There is like 18,000 of us. So, and there's 5 or 6 rich guys I know of who watch this, who bet a lot. Yo, Paul, how you doing, Paul? Yeah, man. We're just getting to these games. All right, send in more questions. And then JSEP wanted me to talk about that New England Bills game. And that game is really, really interesting. And I think I already made this point, but I want to see what Josh Allen does with his feet, because that was the Patriots' lethal. That's what killed the Patriots last game. Yes, Josh Allen threw it around the park. Yes, the Bills made more explosive plays, but just letting Josh Allen get out of the pocket time and time again, and letting Josh Allen run it whenever he wanted, that's what really broke the Patriots back, and that's what put Mac Jones and that offense in bad situations. So for me, I don't think we're going to see a lot of pressure from the Patriots. But I think we're going to see a conservative pass rush, keeping him in the pocket, trying to get to him that way. Now, what are the Bills going to do run game-wise? Are they going to run read option? Is it on the menu? Are they going to try to run it with Singletary? I just think the Bills need some sort of running game. And I do like the over on the 33.5 passing yards. I heard people saying this week, you know what? The reason why the Bills lost that first game with the 50-mile-per-hour wind was because they didn't act like the Bills. They didn't throw it enough. Bro, it's hard to throw it in 50, 60-mile-per-hour winds, especially against a pretty damn good Patriots defense. So I actually think we see the Bills revert to their worst qualities, slinging it around, trying to throw it to Dawson Knox, lots of targets for Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs. I think the hoodie takes him away. And we saw that in the first meeting. Like, Stephon Diggs was blanketed the whole game. And we've seen that a lot, actually, this year. Teams who've had success against the Bills, they double-team Stephon Diggs, and they let Emmanuel Sanders, Dawson Knox, and Cole Beasley, Gabriel Davis try to beat them. And they're not all that good. Yeah, so... Yeah, bro. Yeah, and okay, Lions fit. Great job, Lawson. Appreciate it, Lions. Your thoughts on I'm teasing 5 legs +9.5. Bucks +1, I like it. Chiefs -3, I like it, unless you're starting to get the vibes about the Steelers. Steelers got nothing to lose, so I think it'll help them. But yeah, you should be sitting comfy with Bills -3. Bills +5, yeah, I like it. Because I can't see the Patriots winning by like a touchdown. The Patriots win is going to be by a field goal. That's how I feel about the Bills on the other end too. Over Cowboys, 49ers, over 41. Yeah, I actually think that game has more scoring than people think. Over Rams, Cardinals, 40, it should be. That's one where, worst case scenario, you could have some problems, but you should be good on that. Vegas is king. Of course, Vegas is king. But like, you can bet a lot on offshore bank accounts, and then you don't get taxed on it. Oh no, Paulie Gualtieri from The Sopranos. I hope you don't bet a lot of money on the Patriots there, Lawson. No, not a lot. I only betted the Patriots 2 times this year. 2-0. No, 1-1 on Patriots bets. This is from Calvin Jones. This is a hot take. Lawson, all favorites win this week. Really? I I see where you're going there. I see where you're going there. I mean, it looks that way now, right? But I think that game that's going to decide that is 49ers Cowboys. I think that's where it's at, man. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think I got some more questions on Patreon. Let me just reload that up. Okay, here we go. Oh, I got a lot more bets. I got a lot more. Southside Chicago pizza is my best friend. Yes, I've had Chicago pizza. It's awesome. It is pretty damn good. Lillian Diaz Vieira. What's up, Lillian? What's up, Lawson? I was just putting my 10-point teaser. Raiders plus 15, Eagles plus 18, Patriots plus 14. You should be good, but that Eagles one makes me a little bit nervous, but you should be good. That's just me being panicked. That's just my personality. I'm always a worst case scenario type guy. The Eagles really should cover that plus 18. I don't see a reason why they shouldn't, even if the Bucs can come out trailblazing, because the Eagles aren't that bad. I know the Eagles played no one these last, the last 5-6 weeks of the season. The Eagles played a ton of easy teams, and we can't take that Cowboys game too seriously. But I got to ask a question to you guys. I was thinking about this today. When we're talking about this Raiders-Bengals game, does it concern you that the Bengals kind of half-assed it last week, that they rested a lot of starters? And we know what happened on that Raiders game. We know that Raiders game went into overtime. It was extremely physical. It was extremely intense. It was mentally and physically draining. For me, though, I would rather be in the Raiders situation. And that's why I like that first half bet. Remember the guy who was asking about Raiders plus 3 in the first half, plus 3.5 in the first half, something along those lines? That's why I like it, because there's just something about it. It's more of a vibe than any sort of science. So be calm about it. Don't do anything crazy. But is it just me, or I think Cincinnati comes out a little bit cold, a little bit out of rhythm? Okay. Lawson just joined. I'm liking the Niners this weekend. What's your read? Or do you like the Rams-Zona game to bet with Rams -4? I like the Niners, but I'm nervous because, like Johnny Gonzalez said before, the Dallas Cowboys have more explosion. And at what point do we give up on Jimmy G? At what point does this turn into how the 49ers lost against the Titans? At what point does this turn into how the at what point does this turn into how the 49ers lost against a terrible Seahawks team? I just get really nervous about Jimmy G. I'm really concerned with the interceptions. And one thing I'm really concerned about with Jimmy G, he has a little bit of a Kirk Cousins gene. If you hit him or if something bad happens and if he throws a pick, he doesn't just shake it off and say, next play, let's get him. It affects him mentally, and it spirals out of control. Look at that Titans game. It spiraled completely out of control. And you can't let a quarterback do that. Because the Cowboys, when you're in the playoffs, when you're playing good teams, they're coming to fight too. I mean, they're coming for war. And bad shit's going to happen. Even if you're one of the greatest, like Brady, Rodgers, Favre, bad shit's going to happen in a game. You're going to throw a pick. You're going to get a strict fumble occasionally. You're going to get hit hard in the pocket. It's life. But my problem with Jimmy G is he spirals out of control mentally, and then you're just left like thinking, okay, how is he going to blow up this game? How is this going to be destroyed? What's the damage going to be? Are the 49ers going to even be able to get out of his own way? And is Kyle Shanahan going to stop throwing the ball 40 fucking times a game? He is unstable. And Mr. Rangel, I don't like speculating on people's like mental health. I'm not a psychiatrist by any means. I just bet football. But my goodness, is there a more unstable guy in this league? You know, if he was a wide receiver, they would be saying it all the time. It's just that Jimmy G's a quarterback. I guess people don't notice it as much. But him and Kirk Cousins, bro, once a bad thing happens, man, it just comes down like an avalanche, and you just don't know where the end is. There's just never an end until next week. J-Sup sent this one in too. He sent this one in to me on Instagram. Turk 182. Lawson, what do you think about the Chiefs? -7.5 over Steelers first half. I put $1,000 on it. I like it, man, but those first half ones, I don't want to be like the old, get off my lawn type guy, but they're making me suspicious with these first half lines now. But it should hit. It should go well. The Steelers aren't a good team at all. Everyone likes to hate on Big Ben, hate on Mike Tomlin, but they're actually doing good. Mike Tomlin's doing a phenomenal job. And I'm looking at the Steelers roster. Terrible wide receiving core, terrible offensive line core. They can't stop the run. They're not all that fast or explosive on any level of the defense outside of Watt. And then everyone just wants to hate on Big Ben. Yeah, Chiefs should be able to do it. But, man, remember, though, and I don't like going back into history, but Chiefs tend to start playoff games slow. Remember when Houston was up 24-0 on them? Remember that? So this is the fucking playoffs. People are coming out just straight shooting, man. So be careful, be advisable. Yeah, I get it. I get it, Johnny. I get it. I think it's a good bet. I think it's a good bet. It's just, bro, I have the Titans on Patreon to beat the Steelers. I don't know how the Titans ended up losing the game. They dominated the whole game. And the Steelers played terrible. Terrible. And yet they won the game. I've given up trying to analyze the Steelers team, man. Given up. Because they're a terrible team talent-wise. Let's be honest about it. Let's just stop slinging mud on Big Ben. Stop slinging mud on Mike Tomlin. And just let's analyze these players. Like one prop bet I like. One prop bet I like in that Steelers game is Deontay Johnson under 6.5 receptions. Now, maybe the bookies are thinking this could turn into a little bit of garbage time fun and, garbage time, prevent defense. You can get free receptions, but that guy can't catch, bro. So, 6 catches if no one's covering, if no one's trying, would even be a challenge for that guy. There are better teams to make money off than the Steelers. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let me get to it. Calvin. Because I did write some down. Because I know we got limited games to bet, so I wanted to talk about some player props today a little bit. So let me get to them. I got them written down. Was thinking out loud on them a little bit. So the quarterbacks, okay, so I like Josh Allen under the rush yards. Let me see what it is. They got it at 46.5. Some books got it at like 49.5. I'm going under there. Now, if we're talking Josh Allen throwing yards, I'm going over the 240. I think he's going to throw an awful lot, even in that cold weather. If we're talking about Pat Mahomes, let's see what it was. I like the over 275. I think he can shred the Steelers secondary. Although against the Steelers, be cautious about this because the way to attack the Steelers best is run it down their throat. They can't stop the run at all, even though they got Hayward and Watt. They like playing a lot of too deep shell. So even the Chiefs could run it on them. Go back to the last matchup. That's the only reason why I'm nervous about Mahomes to over the 275.5, but it should hit. I like that one. And Murray's going to score this week. And I'll tell you one bet I really like when we're talking about Kyler, the Rabbit Murray. I like the under on the 255 because I think this is going to happen. Let me get to it. Dude, Kyler Murray for rushing yards is only over under 37.5. Bro, I don't even need to give it. It could not hit. There's always a possibility. Player props are risky all in themselves. But I absolutely love Kyler over 37.5. Absolutely, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. All right, let me get to more Patreon questions. Yo, Tony, come on when you're ready, man. It's not a problem. Michael Mann, too, let me know when you want to come on. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's get to... Let me just load this so I'm making sure. Because you guys go in and lay the questions late. Okay. This is from Shay Garcia. What's up, Lawson? What's up, Shay? Niners will upset the boys. I will be at the game Sunday. Yo, have a great time. Yo, send me a photo on Instagram, man. I want to see how that atmosphere is. Because I heard that Cowboys Stadium doesn't get all that lit. I could be wrong. I haven't been there. But let us know how it is at the very worst. Cowboys will not be able to stop the run. I think so. My brother works at the San Jose airport and told me 3 full planes of Niners fan took off today and tomorrow. Niners taking over AT&T Stadium. And the thing is, Niners and Raiders fans are 2 fan bases that travel extremely well that no one really talks about. Like, okay, we all like talking about, like, the Bills fans traveling. They travel pretty well. Plus, a lot of people had to leave Buffalo for a wide variety of reasons. But, man, yeah, 49ers got a lot of fans across the country. Same with the Steelers, man. Friday night, JP. I'll have them posted up on Patreon Friday night. I might be more patient this week and wait to Saturday morning, but they'll probably be up Friday night. Just with this disease going around, I get more cautious. But yeah, the full year they've been up Friday night most of the time. All right, I'm gonna just take another leak, man. I've been pounding a lot of water today. I'll be right back. Make sure you hit that like button when you're waiting. Share the videos. All right, let's go. Let's go, man. It's going pretty good today. I like your guys' energy. You guys are going hard. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's get to the Patreon questions. Go fight win. Hey Law, what do you think about the Bills, Pats? And I think Bill has game plan. I do. I think he keeps Josh in the pocket a lot, and I think we see 2 interceptions from Josh Allen, and I think that's what keeps the game close. And this Bills front seven hasn't really proved much to me. They haven't proved much to me. We know they stood up a lot better in that second matchup, but that was because the Patriots didn't have a lead. If this is a close game, if it's a one-score game the whole way, the Patriots are going to have that run game working. And that's why I think it's going to be extremely close. And that's why I think the Bill Belichick game plan is. I like the under 2 as well, Rare Keem. I like the under. I like the under 2 in that game, even though it's really low. Okay. This is from Ty Manuel. J Law, Bengal fan here. I have no confidence for tomorrow. Damn, Ty. The weather should be about 20 degrees. Zach Taylor will make a wrong call, make a stupid challenge. Mixon will fumble. My Bengals will find a way to lose this game. Ty, I feel that. That's why I like the Raiders to cover the game. And I think the way this game could unravel is the offensive line. And like I said, I think your Bengals are going to come out a little bit rusty. They rested a lot of people against the Browns last week. What's Burrow's health like? I think he's going to be fine, but there's still some questions there. There still has to be some questions surrounding Burrow's health. So that's where I'm at, man. I think it's going to be quite interesting. But I think a big part of this game is Bengals got to run the football because the Raiders are actually pretty crafty in the secondary. They don't have any dogs back there, but they're crafty. Remember that first game? Because you're a Bengals fan, you actually watched that first game. That final score was very flattering to the Bengals. That was an absolute dogfight. That was a very, very close game, and it had almost a playoff-type atmosphere to it. And the reason why the Bengals won that game was because Joe Mixon. It wasn't because of Burrow. It wasn't because of explosive plays. It was because Joe Mixon put that team on his back, and he was ready to ride. I think Joe Mixon needs the ball early and often here. And I question how much big plays you can get against this Raiders cover 3. And they disguise it really well. Sometimes you'll think it's man-to-man. I mean, and that's what's crazy about it. I never thought I would see Gus Bradley actually evolve this cover 3 defense. It's nasty, man. And then you add in this defensive line and what's Quentin Spain's health. I'm nervous about it. If you tell me Quentin Spain's healthy, I think Bengals can hold up, actually. Not great, not do anything great on the offensive line, but I think they can hold up if they have run-pass balance. If Quentin Spain's just not ready to play, not healthy enough to go out there and contribute, look out, brother. So I understand. And also you have Mike Brown as your owner, so it's always going to be hard to have a ton of confidence, right, Ty? Because that man, him just getting to the playoffs, him just getting Burrow, like he'll even come out and say it. Like that's like a W, that's like a Super Bowl for him. And he's just not a winner. He doesn't have a winner mentality. And unfortunately, that culture creeps in. And we do got questions about Zach Taylor. I come on here and talk about Cliff Kingsbury a lot, but I got similar questions for Zach Taylor. Like, look at how flat the Bengals came out in that Chargers game. And you did mention possibly a Mixon fumble. Remember that fumble? The Bengals are making a comeback. They were down like 22-0, 24-0. They were making a comeback, ready to go take the lead, and then Joe Mixon fumbles without anyone touching him. It's going to be an interesting game. As a fan, when my Vikings play in the playoffs, I almost don't like watching it because it's just so much pressure, and you just know someone's going to fuck up if you're like a Vikings fan or a Bengals fan. Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm just reading the comments now about appreciate it, Pokemon. Yeah, man, and also if you don't agree with me, it doesn't mean I'm right 100% of the time. it's just, yeah, we got to make the arguments and we got to make stuff based on what we watch in film instead of like abstract stats. I like it because I can actually come on here and talk football with you guys. And it's fun coming on and talking about football. I think that's the best way to gamble. Just coming on, talking X's and O's. That's always the best way, man. Lamar Swede. Nobody would test positive for the bug in the playoffs because the NFL needs to make that. I hope so, Lamar. But, if a player is out with the disease on Sunday Night Football or something, we're still going to watch, bro. But I hope so. They even changed, like, the rules of the government to accommodate the NFL, I thought. So, yeah, hopefully we don't get hit with the disease and have it wreck any of our bets. Yo, Mike, come on, man. Come on, man. Yo, okay. Yo, all right. 1 second. Mike, I'm gonna send you. Mike, I'm gonna send you an invite. 1 second, Mike. I sent one to Dion Conley. So we'll see if he comes on. I never had him on before. Okay. Stream. Let's see if anyone comes on. Yeah, knocked out. All right. I try to read YouTube comments. I have to answer the Patreon comments first. So yeah, I have to reward my people, man. David Kirksey, who has the best O-line in every game. Okay. I can give that to you. Let me go team by team. Between Vegas and Cincinnati, I like Vegas's line a little bit better, but it's kind of a push. I would go Vegas, though. I think Vegas gets better tackle play as well, and I think Riley Reif's out for the Bengals as well. New England, Buffalo. New England has the better offensive line. Buffalo has the best offensive lineman between the two teams, but as a whole, as a group, New England's got the advantage. Bill's right side gets their ass kicked a lot. That's their trouble area. Philly, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has the way better offensive line, although this Philly offensive line has really started building week 10 on, especially in the run game. I mean, if they weren't facing Tampa and a Todd Bowles defense, I actually think Philadelphia could upset someone. Like if they were against Dallas, I know people are going to say the Cowboys just blew the Eagles out. All right, calm down now. But like if they were against the Rams, I could see the Eagles pulling an upset because that offensive line gets a really good run push. But Tampa Bay has the best offensive line that game. San Fran, Dallas is close. If you give me a healthy Tyron Smith, I'd have to go Dallas there, hesitantly, because I think San Fran has a better scheme that helps the offensive line. But you got to go with Dallas in terms of the players. Pittsburgh and Kansas City. Kansas City's got a weak offensive line. They haven't really fixed it, but Pittsburgh's got one of the worst offensive lines in this league, and I still have to hear about people shitting on Big Ben for no reason. Zona and Rams, but this is debatable. Though. Rams have some issues on offensive line, especially in the pass block. Zona's got some issues on the offensive line in terms of the run block. Like, look at what the Colts defensive line did to him. Without Darius Leonard at linebackers, just look at what the Colts film did to that Zona offensive line. But still, I think that's a push. I would lean towards the Rams, though. So I hope that helped answer your question. Yeah, Ty, it's an issue. It's an issue, bro. That Bengals offensive line has been bad for a long time. And that just shows you Mike Brown's not all that serious. He really isn't all that serious. He's just happy. I actually heard him complaining about the playoffs actually cost money because you have to share it with the other team. The dude's a fucking joke, bro. Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? I just dropped my camera, so.
Dude, before you go make your point about these playoffs games, I want to say, man, I was really actually miffed at what Miami did in terms of their coaching. And I was mad that David Culley lost his job with the Texans. Like, I was just mad about that. Just wanted to tell you.
Yeah, and that Matt Rule gets to keep his job. How about that?
I know, what a joke, bro. At least Joe Judge got fired. If Joe Judge stayed in, though, like the Rooney Rule people would be going crazy, bro.
Yeah, there was a point in time where Brian Flores lost his job, but Joe Judge and Matt Rule both had their job still. And that to me is just ridiculous because, honestly, I think those were the two worst head coaches in the league at the end of the year. And so I don't know what Carolina's over-under is going to be next year, but whatever it is, bet it under. Because the Panthers are not going anywhere with that man in charge. No one respects him.
Yeah, dude, not even to get into a tangent, but you're right. Just to prove what you're saying is right. Look at what they're doing with offensive coordinator. They're literally going to bring in someone to hold his hand, which is scary.
Yeah, yes, which I hope they do. The more power you take away from Matt Rule, I think that will make the Panthers that much better. Mitigate his rule as much as possible. And even if you look at the offensive coordinators they're looking at, it's the worst possible people. Your Jake Grudens, your Bill O'Briens, your Scotty Montgomerys, your Mike Rose. These are all just people you don't want that are really outdated in the NFL. But this is who Matt Rule's going after.
Because they need someone to hold, and I think it's Topper going after him. Not even to get onto this. I just think Topper wants someone to hold his hand. But yeah, let's get to the playoffs. Fuck the Panthers, man. Fuck the Vikings. I'm good on talking about them until March.
Yeah, we can talk about them later.
Yeah,
we're good for a while.
Yeah, dude. What do you think about the playoffs? And Dion, hold tight. Yeah. Yeah, go on.
I'm pretty excited for these games, man. I have a few that I'm really looking forward to. My first thing is I think Philly has a good chance to really cover the spread and maybe even upset the Buccaneers. I'm feeling really good about this. When I first started looking at this game earlier in the week, I initially went into it thinking, oh, Tampa's going to win and cover. But as I've looked at what the Bucs have done over the last few weeks and how the Eagles run the ball, I'm feeling pretty good that the Eagles can cover this 8.5 point spread. The Buccaneers, I know everyone hypes up their run defense, but they have not been as good stopping the run lately as they normally are. They've given up 100 yards in multiple games over the last few weeks. And the Eagles, meanwhile, that's all they do. That's their bread and butter. So if you let the Eagles run the ball on you and go on these long drives, that's going to gas out their defense. And plus, Tampa Bay's offense seems to have just really stalled out to open up games lately. And I think that's going to be a huge part of it. And it just seems like they're out of rhythm. And I don't know if the Eagles are going to win, but I feel really good about this 8.5 point spread.
I actually feel good about it. And you want to know what? Something that was rather odd this week. So once we got the weather report, the game was at -7.5. Then we got the bad weather report. And then for some reason it kicked back up to 8.5. And I'm like, okay, listen, this weather actually helps the Eagles in the game.
Yes.
Not the other way around.
If you give me those bad wide receivers for Tampa that they have out there right now, and you're telling me Leonard Fournette is likely not going to play, then this falls right into the Eagles' favor. And Leonard Fournette was the reason they won that first game when they played
Fournette's got to play, bro. Fournette's got to play.
Yeah, but
he's got to play.
It's a hamstring, though. So, if he does play, there's a good chance he re-injures it. And even if he does play, how effective is he going to be?
Yeah.
So,
and we know Hurts. One thing about Hurts, he can make 3 or 4 magical plays. He's not good. I'm not saying he's good. Everyone gets that confused. I'm just saying he can make magic happen. So we'll see, man. I'm looking forward to it. And listen, listen, we know the Saints have a different type of defense. And we know that Philly defense is really vanilla. Unfortunately, they don't do anything spectacular. They literally just rush 4 every single play. But, man, if Hurts can do something special and put Tom Brady up against the ropes, I want to see what happens.
Dude, and that's the other thing. The Buccaneers, they allow the 4th most rushing yards in the league to quarterbacks. So if you go off of that zone read, if you go off those quarterback powers, Jalen Hurts is going to have a lot of rushing yards. I don't know what that's a prop bet that I would target for. If you can get Jalen Hurts' over-under rushing yards, I'd go for that for the over.
Hurts is 49.5.
Yeah, go over that. Exactly. There you go. Just go over that.
I did this autistic work with the player props today. So
I know. I got my notes right here.
Dude. So what other game were you liking?
I'm with you on Raiders versus Bengals. I think the Raiders have a good shot to cover that. Schematically on defense for them, they just line up really well. Like for one, like the cover 3 they play is going to really help prevent all the deep shots that the Bengals like to take. And their pass rush has been kicking up lately, and that's really helped them out. The main thing for the Raiders is they just can't let these receivers get behind them, I think.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. And we'll see if Cincinnati will just run the ball because you kind of have to, right? I mean, but sometimes the Raiders are good. They'll get in that 8-man front and bounce out last minute, so they still are able to keep numbers. Like you're right though, and that's since he's not getting the big plays. It's not going to be like the Chiefs playing man to man 90% of the game and sending blitzes.
And here's the other thing: you keep mentioning like the run pass balance for Cincinnati. But the way they've won games like the last month and a half has been through Joe Burrow's arm. And I feel like that's not the way you want to attack this Raiders defense. Because if you go like constant 3 and outs against the Raiders and you let Josh Jacobs on the other side of the ball eat, who's been playing really well lately, that's not a good formula.
Can I just address this comment? Keep sleeping on the Bills' front 7. They're not a sack-heavy defense. I'm not fucking talking about sack defense. I'm talking about getting in there, stopping run, playing run fits. I'm talking about defensive fucking tackles. They don't even have a good pass rush, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about stopping the run and linebacking core. Like, what the fuck? Go on. Sorry.
You're all good. Yeah. It's all good, man. No, that game, I'm Bills winning cover. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. There are too many intangibles in that game for me to really get into. You know, we don't know what the weather's going to be like. We don't know what the Patriots defense is going to do. But yeah, they're not a good run defense, man.
Dude, Jesus, man. Yeah,
I think they've been running the ball better. I'll give them credit for that. They've been running the ball better over the last month, but they're not a run defense first.
Dude, Mike, I think I could fucking give you 10 touches against the Jets and you could get 5.5 yards. Like if you got Diggs out there, like it's
I'm telling you, dude. Like they've been running the ball better. Like even against us, I think Singletary got like 20 carries. The fact that the Bills are at least exerting the effort to run the ball and like are getting north of 4 yards a carry, I mean that's upgrade for them because the Bills I'm used to seeing they throw it like 65% of the time.
Yeah. So
I'm just looking for progression here in terms of running the football from Buffalo.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to. Dude, they just need to run it a little bit. It's the same with the Chiefs. If they run it a little bit, they'll be good.
My thing is I have the Bills to win and cover just because I have to take Josh Allen over Mac Jones. And I know like the weather's been kind of like, deterring people away from this, but I'm not going to bet on, this game being like 14-10 again.
Yeah. Yeah, I next game.
Yeah, okay. So I wrote Dallas and San Francisco on here as well. This is the one I've been kind of like scratching my head over a lot, so I was curious to hear like what you think of it.
Dude, for me, I'm still going with Niners, and I want to see this Dallas front 7 actually stop the run because you got to think. Now, maybe this is wishful thinking, and like I said, like maybe I'm like the woman who keeps thinking the guy is going to come back and change and stuff,
That girl.
Yeah, that girl. Maybe I'm that girl, but at this point, I just want to see if Shanahan goes like pure brutality, just run the ball, play action, keep it simple, and just don't let Jimmy G make mistakes. But Jimmy G's a big liability, my friend.
That's the thing. Like schematically, they match up well, but Kyle Shanahan's offense is meant to beat this Dan Quinn, Pete Carroll style of cover 3 that they like to play. But I don't know if we can trust Jimmy Garoppolo to not turn the ball over against this Dallas defense that gets more turnovers than anybody.
Yeah. But also not to sidetrack, but I actually do like the Bills money line. But yeah, man. And with Dallas though, you always feel like a choke's coming from them. And I want to see them use Zeke more. And I don't think he's what he used to be 3 or 4 years ago, but I would like to see a little bit more of him. And is Amari Cooper even playing all that good this year? Like we know CD Lamb's balling. I'm just worried about Dallas. Like what if CD Lamb gets taken away? Is Amari Cooper still at the level where he's going to tear people up? He used to tear people up. I haven't seen a lot this season from him. So that's what
I'm leaning towards the Niners, but the thing that scares me, is that they'll come out and play these like soft zones like they like to do. And then Dak's just going to dink and dunk down the field and get his yards that way, which is going to gas him out. That's what scares me for looking at the Cowboys offense versus the Niners defense.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a good game. And like the Niners defense, you have to worry about because like the soft coverage.
Yeah.
And like people are saying, oh, it's not cover 3. Well, whatever the fuck it is, it's soft.
Yeah,
it's like cover 4 then. Yeah. I mean,
it's not good. It's not trending in the right direction.
And they can't run, and that's a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that game I'm not feeling all that much. I don't want to bet it.
Yeah, the only 2 games I'd really look at betting are the Eagles to cover that 8. The Raiders, maybe the Raiders. I mean, that's a tough spread to pick. Is this still at 5?
It's at 5.5 now. It's going back up.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that helps us out. And then of course, we have to talk about it. The Chiefs-Steelers game. That's going to be a blowout.
Are you feeling the upside?
No, and I don't get where it's coming from. Let me tell you. Here's how the Steelers win games. They don't make turnovers. They hold their opponent under 20, and Big Ben clutches up at the end. None of that is going to happen against the Chiefs. They're not going to hold Kansas City to under 20 points. Big Ben's probably going to have a turnover or 2 because they're going to blitz him nonstop, and Ben's not going to have a chance to come back at the end. Like, they can't win when the opponent scores more than 30 points. They have to have it like a 10-9 type game, and that's not going to happen.
The ugliest games in the league. The ugliest games in this league.
Yeah.
And the lack of talent, and look at how the Chiefs were able to run the ball. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I just hate how the Chiefs are like minus 12.5. I just hate betting games.
That's a hard spread, but yeah. I do like it here because of how inept the Steelers' offense has been this year.
Yeah, man.
But why is that the Sunday night game?
Good question.
Yeah.
At least we got a Monday night game. That Rams Cards.
Yeah.
Who you got in Rams Cardinals?
Oh, I got Rams, but I don't feel good about it.
People are trying to make me feel bad about it, but I'm not getting off of it. But
here's the thing. Like, it's just Stafford's been – I told you last week Stafford was going to lose that game for the Niners, and it's hard for me to just turn around to be like, oh, yeah, he's going to go beat Kyler Murray now,
Yeah.
But everywhere else, I do like the matchups for L.A. Like, across the board, it favors all L.A. I don't think people are talking about how bad the Cardinals' run defense is.
I don't think people even notice.
Yeah, like it's not a good unit. Anyone that has tried to run the ball on them has done it successfully this year. But the problem is people get down like by 14 points by the end of the first quarter, and then by that point they're all pass happy and wanting to throw the ball over them.
Well, and Mike, but J.J. Watt's coming back.
Yeah.
Is he? I don't even know if he's coming back. Like, he should help a little bit, but it's not enough to solve their problems. Like, their run game, most of their run game is just Buda Baker coming up making crazy plays. That's like their run defense. Yeah, that's their run defense, bro, and that's not a good strategy.
And Watt hasn't played in months. You talked about this on your other video, but I think the only way that the Cardinals win this is if they get a lot of big plays early to force, Matthew Stafford into a shootout.
I hope McVay doesn't fall in love throwing it like we see Shanahan do. And someone's saying we're disrespecting Shanahan, bro. Like, go watch that Titans film. Like it's ridiculous. Like, go watch that Seahawks film. I had to suffer through that shit. All right. And I had the Titans +3. Even I was like saying, like, bro, Shanahan, what are you doing, man? Like, you don't need Jimmy to throw it 35, 40 times.
Yeah.
Just don't get it. But
it's almost as if like you think Sean McVay is a better coach with Jared Goff because it'll persuade him not to throw the ball as much.
You would think.
Yeah, and to not complex this offense.
Yeah. But Mike, I'm going to get you off now. Hope everything's good with you. Did you end up going back to college?
Yeah, I did. I'm back at
Dude, you had you had like the shortest vacation ever, man.
Yeah, we get it like that. Congratulations on getting married.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. You just dropped that on the stream last night. Like, you went 15 minutes talking straight football, and then you're like, all right, guys, I'm getting off. I'm getting married tomorrow, and then just cut the stream. I was like, dude, you gotta address this more.
Oh yeah, dude. Like but like, how you guys think I stay in Brazil? Like, I don't got
Yeah,
people that much, so yeah. Like, so it's good. Appreciate it, bro. And it's good, man. I didn't spend too much money, so
That's
anytime
good.
you can avoid spending a lot of money is good, man.
Yeah, marriage scares me. So congratulations.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're a lot more protected here, but you should be fucking scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
All
see you,
right,
man.
dude.
Congratulations
All right.
again. Enjoy the
Oh, yo,
playoffs.
thank you, dude. Thank you for supporting the channel and helping us out, man.
Of course, bro. Anytime. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, Mike. Okay, we're getting Dion on. Dude, Dion, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
Dude, you were getting on my ass about my hair. Your hair's wilder than mine. How
I know,
you doing,
dude.
man?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Yeah, did you see what I said in the message about the Eagles game? You guys started literally hitting the nail on the hammer about that whenever.
Go on. Just go hard on it.
No, yeah, I don't see Tampa Bay covering the spread here, just because they have no depth at wide receiver. Leonard Fournette with the hamstring injury. I don't think he's going to be getting 20 carries like he normally does. And then their run D is super beat up right now. I mean, they've been going hard all. Oh my God, I cannot talk right now. They've been going hard all season, and just like you said, in the last 4 games, they gave up over 100 yards, and they really haven't even been playing anybody good. And for some reason, everyone's hanging in there with them. And then,
dude, and the thing you said that, sorry to cut you off, the thing that you said that scared the hell out of me is Fournette with a hamstring injury. Like, I didn't even, with all the shit going on this week, I didn't even factor that into the equation. That's why I always like respect what you guys have to say, because like, dude, that's going to make a difference. It has to.
yeah, I honestly didn't even know he was going to play. I thought he was going to be out for like, I don't know, at least a week, because wasn't he out? Hasn't he been out for like the last 4 weeks?
Yeah, like last time he got a lot of touches, I think was all the way back against Atlanta. The last time he went off,
Right,
and
right.
against the Bills. Outside of that, he's been
And the Colts.
Yeah, and then like he's been getting it. I think he's played like, but only getting like 6-7 touches. I'm sure someone can clear that up for us, though.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could see there like being like a whole new drama story behind like Tom Brady's legacy without Antonio Brown on the Buccaneers. You know, can this guy win football games without AB? You know, like all that bullshit getting stirred up. And then is he going to retire? Because wasn't he only on like a 2-year? Like,
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think they actually announced he's going to be back next year, but I don't know about But dude, who knows? And either way, they're going to stir up drama about Tom Brady, and like everyone just needs to calm down a little bit. He's not saying the Eagles are going to whoop the Buccaneers' ass. He's just saying that the Eagles are going to cover the spread, which isn't the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah.
The team covering +8.5. It's not crazy.
Yeah, it's a pro league in the playoffs. Anything could happen. But I mean, Tom Brady is the GOAT, so you never count him out. I find it hard to bet against Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Even whenever he's down 20, I almost want to take the 1,000 odds and put like 30 on it. You know what I mean? Just because he's crazy like that.
Well, and with Brady, I'm the biggest Brady fan there is. But with Brady, you always get a little bit of the rub of the calls too, if you need them late, which helps. It helps, and these refs, they like getting involved in these games,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it's so hard. That's why it's so hard to predict, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Who do you think's going to go on the deep run? You said Titans and Packers, right?
Titans, Packers, and listen. Give me some feedback on the Packers, because no one's really giving me any feedback. Feel like people are getting a little bit shy about it. I really don't care if I'm wrong.
Packers. I mean,
go on.
I'm a Colts fan, so before I start talking about the Packers and people are like, "Oh, this guy's a Packers fan," I'm a fucking Colts fan. It's L out here.
I'm sorry about what happened, dude.
Can
we just talk about that game against the Jags just real quick, bro? Like, that must have been devastating. I kept thinking, I was watching the game, I kept thinking, okay, they're going to get a drive, they're going to get some momentum, and then nothing happened. It was crazy.
Yeah, whenever he threw back-to-back picks, I was just like in awe. And I don't know how that first one was counted as a fumble, dude. Like his stats are so fucking padded, bro, because this man has literally thrown so many fucking interceptions that have counted as fumbles, and they're talking about, oh, his QBR is not that bad. His QBR is tied with fucking Joe Burrow. No, bro, if you watch the games, you literally see this guy throw interceptions that are counted as fumbles, and that shit is trash, dude.
That's why I hate stat geeks.
Yeah.
They try to argue it during the offseason that Wentz is equal to someone like fucking Joe Burrow or Herbert.
Fuck no.
And if I didn't have to read this shit consistently, if it was one idiot just saying it, I would be fine with it. You know, like, okay, there's one idiot in every group. But these fucking stat idiots.
You watch football? Like, yeah. You're looking at numbers, dude.
And that wasn't a goddamn fumble, by the way, too. How did they call that a fumble? Like,
no shot.
It's great. All right, let's get back to the game we were talking about.
Yeah,
because you're making an interesting point. My bad.
No, you're straight, bro. I love dogging on the Colts right now. But anyways, Packers, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. It's literally going to be top 3 wide receiver duo of all time, if not, number 1. But I can't knock Marvin and Peyton, so.
Dude, Marvin. Lauren Kaiser, she's mad that we're talking about Eagles upset. I mean, I just think it's going to be close. I don't think the Eagles have the gumption to do it. Like, I don't think they have the gumption, and I don't think, like, Hurts, even though I don't think
they got the coaching for that. I think Tom Brady will be able to pick them apart late game if anything's in trouble anyways.
Because there is a stat I did like. Someone did a stat where they looked at the most vanilla defenses in this league, and Nick Sirianni's Eagles defense is the most vanilla in terms of like easy to predict. So I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, but back to the Packers game. Back to the Packers game. If you look at their defense too, their defense has performed well all season. I mean, honestly, besides the first game when they got blown out by 38, but other than that, they've been holding down the run, shutting down the pass whenever they need to. But
one player I like on the Packers front.
Trying to go more in depth. Sorry.
But one player I like on the Packers front, like that is really like that makes it feel different for me is Rashawn Gary. Like, I don't know if there's a better like 5-7 technique playing right now, like, because he's so versatile and he gets pressure up the middle. I'm really liking it, and it's the first time the Packers have actually had a dog like that. So I agree with you. Like, and Jair Alexander's one of the biggest dogs in the NFL. He's healthy,
Facts.
Right? He should be. Like, so.
Yeah, and then if you look at the run game too, I mean, they have 2 really powerful backs on any down. So any short situation can really count it because they're going to have somebody fresh, ready to go to pound their legs. Try to get
I like A.J. Dillon, man. I've been saying this all year.
Dude, he's been a workhorse
instead of Aaron Jones, man.
Yeah. No, I definitely liked whenever they started having Dillon as the starter because I made a little bit of money off of his player props. But then whenever they started taking him out as a starter, whenever Jones got healthier again, I didn't think that was a very good move because I think he's another breakout running back, and they're just trying to hold him back so they can keep his value down.
I do think something's going on with that, and I think a guy like Aaron Jones gets overrated because they think he can catch. Like, okay, like A.J. Dillon, like look at him against the Seahawks. All he needs to do is take a screen pass and put his shoulder pass.
Like, bro, you're just catching screens like 90% of the time.
Yeah,
like,
and bro, also another thing with A.J. Dillon, it's just a different style we don't see in this league too often anymore, man. And I love it.
He's a smart runner.
He is.
He's aggressive when he needs to be.
And he's always going forward. Like, you can't stop him. And this Packers O-line, like, they're overrated year in and year out because Aaron again Rodgers. But, man, with Dillon, I actually was starting to feel the way this offensive line was grinding. And it was the first time I felt this way with the Packers in, like, 12 years.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But as far as
I'm going Titans on the AFC. I'm going Titans in the AFC, too, so. But we'll
I mean, you can't really fight that. I mean, let me look at the matchups real quick for the AFC again, just so I can get that fresh. I mean, I really like the Bengals, but this is Joe Burrow's first run, so Chiefs, of course, they're fucking pretty good, but I don't think they have the depth on defense, Kansas City, to beat the Titans, honestly.
Because I get worried about. Okay, we know the Chiefs got. We know the Chiefs have Chris Jones. But does anyone really out scare you in that front seven? And if Derrick Henry's coming back, I don't know, man. And we know Tannehill's not all that good. We know he's one guy who gets like hyped up with stats.
Right.
But man, AJ Brown and this Titans defense, who's playing better than them outside the Saints? And the Saints aren't in the playoffs. So It's interesting.
Titans defense is really well coached because, I mean, early in the season, they had a lot of injuries. I had a fucking huge parlay, same game parlay that counted all 14 legs hit. 15th leg was like Bills money line, and Josh Allen fumbled it on the 1 yard line, dude. I was sick. It was for like 15 G's, dude. Fucking sick to my stomach.
The legend of the parlays, man. That's how parlays always get you. Like you could have that should have been the best weekend of your life, and it wasn't. Like, and just put 14 single bets if you're feeling that fucking good.
Right.
Jesus.
No, I know. My my betting strategies have definitely changed a lot, but that's just whenever I was just getting wild with it, trying to hit for the lottery ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, and like that's what it's all about. It's just about getting better. So I try to get better every year, and I think we are getting better, honestly.
Oh yeah, gotta fucking keep taking their money. And thanks to you, I actually won. Like, I had a free bet for $250, and I parlayed I did an alternate spread with the Cardinals against the Cowboys, and then I did the Seahawks spread against the fucking Lions. Like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I fucking won like $600 on that shit.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, like, and the Seahawks and Dolphins week 18, they saved me because there's one game. What was the game? Titans. They're up 20-0. They don't cover that, and I was just like, okay, this is why you never bet -10, -11 spreads. Like, and everyone gets on me for not doing that, but that's I was reminded
too. But yeah,
it sucks. But credit to Davis Mills. I'm glad he went off, bro.
Right. Last playoff game I probably talk about and actually have like a mindful opinion would probably be that 49ers Cowboys game.
Yeah, who you got?
I'm riding with you on San Fran. I mean, I like to see him cover. Money line, that's tough. But
it's really tough.
I could see him cover just because their run game is very good. Don't get me wrong, Micah Parsons, this dude's fucking breakout player. Their defense is pretty good. Their passing D, I mean, you got Trayvon Diggs back there. He's good, but
who else is good outside of him?
Right.
No one.
Right.
No one.
Exactly. So I could see them getting a lot of respect for the run game because they start to pass the ball. Jimmy G actually has a good playoff game. I mean, hopefully I don't jinx it, but I could see him having a good playoff game. And Deebo Samuel just exposing those guys in the back line because, honestly, he's another breakout player. So.
Deebo Samuel's really good, and I want to see what Ayuk can do. Like, really, the 49, I see why Shanahan gets tricked into passing because you got Ayuk to just grind underneath with Kittle, and then you got Deebo who can run any route. Like, I get it. Any last words on that game?
Not really. I mean, all right. Last thing, they need to let Zeke run the ball. If they're going to be running the ball a lot, because he's gonna wind down the San Francisco's core with the linebackers, with all the defensive linemen. He's going to really help them gain respect in the pass so that they do play up. And then whenever they do complete a couple of passes, their defense is going to start playing that shitty soft coverage that they like to run. And then Dak's going to start getting a couple of yards, starting to open the game back up so they can play football.
Yeah, we'll see if Dallas is patient. Yo, Dion, thank you for coming on, my man.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Appreciate it, bro. Yo, and anytime, holler at me on Instagram.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
All right, have a good one, man. All right, and yo, I want to keep getting you guys on. Zeke is kind of a bum. Like, I'm not saying, like, Hound, I'm not saying he hasn't fallen off, but if you get that big dude going forward, it's going to help, and it's going to help Dak. And 49ers got a good pass rush. So the best way to keep a pass rush is at bay is to pound them. That's what we've been kind of saying about the Raiders Bengals the whole day. And Lauren, I sent an invite, Lauren. Send me an email because I already sent you an email. Let's see if you get it. I'm ready to get you on. I'm ready. And Johnny, if you still want to come on, if you're at work, I completely understand. And shout out to Dion and Mike. Yeah, I want to see her get on. I think she started sleeping. Someone send her a message on Instagram. She's sleeping this early, bro? She's sleeping? Yeah. You got to try not to be biased. But that's why I always say the rule, like, don't bet your own teams. I try not to bet Vikings games unless I know it's a college fun game. And some people are more negative on their teams, like Michael Mann, but it works out because he was right about the Panthers not covering the last 3 weeks of the year. He came on here and told us to bet against the Panthers. Even when they were laying 8 to the Saints and Taysom Hill, he still told us not to. I think they were laying 7, right? And then Carolina lost by 8. It does work out. Okay, here we go. All right, let's get to some questions. Let me see if I missed anything on Patreon. If you want to come on, just send me a message. Let me know. Yeah, we're at the 2-hour point. I want to push this towards 3 if we can. Money line repo, big loss. You like Joe Burrow money line or Brady money line more? Brady money line more. But you're going to have to sweat for that one like we've been talking about, bro. You're going to have to sweat for that one, repo, because Tampa Bay, they aren't in their best rhythm. And I'm not saying they can't turn that switch. We saw them flip the switch last year and completely get in the rhythm and become a new team. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to that. And also, I'm a little bit nervous about this Bengals team. Not so much Burrow, but his offensive line. And can Carr come in and play good? Can he come in and play good? That's the big question. Because with Waller back, you put in a little bit of Renfro. You got Zay Jones and Deshaun Jackson. That isn't all that bad. It really isn't. And Josh Jacobs, we know he's got that cracked rib. We saw him have some epic runs against the Chargers, but it is the Chargers, and they can't stop the run. The Bengals are a lot better against the run. We know that. But I still think the Raiders will have a running game that game. I just don't know how much Carr's going to do. Yeah, Falcon. I love Rams -4, my man. I love the Rams -4, and and everyone takes it as a personal slight against Kyler Murray. No, I think Kyler Murray is going to have a fantastic game. I think Kyler Murray is going to make 2 or 3 gigantic runs. He's going to drop 4 or 5 dimes like he does every game, but I don't think he's going to get enough help without D-Hop. Which wide receiver do you trust? AJ Green? I mean, what other receivers do they got? They don't got anything at tight end that can help. And I just can't picture Arizona running the ball decent to help them with Chase Edmonds or Connor. I just can't see it. And also, this Arizona offensive line isn't too good. And the Rams offensive line, they're vulnerable as well. But we got to think McVay's going to get down grimy in this game, and they're going to run that rock pretty good. We're thinking, right? Maybe it's wishful thinking. Cam Akers is back. I think Cam Akers is a hell of a lot better than Sony Michel. But you put both of them together, you can mix and match, and they can play different roles. And then Higbee. Listen. We can talk all day about Cooper Kupp. I don't know who the hell is going to cover him, But I'll tell you what, you give me Cooper Kupp, you give me Higbee, and you give me Odell going deep, and then maybe a little bit of Von Jefferson running intermediate or deep routes as well. I mean, that's hard to cover. And those are some pretty consistent players. And Higbee's a guy no one really wants to talk about. And we know that Odell, a lot of times, it's more talk than walk. And I understand that. I completely get it. But he's made big plays and he's added value to this Rams offense. And it just makes it that much harder to keep up with Cooper Kupp. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I don't... and with the Rams defensive line, we've been waiting for him to show up all year and completely dominate and control a game. I think this is their week. Yeah, and if Watt comes back, he's going to have an impact. I just don't think this is the Watt from like 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, really, like, is Watt even that much of a professional football player anymore? The last, 4 years, he's barely played. I mean, there's a lot of talk. But Odell Beckham plays more games than him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm curious to see. I don't know if Kyler's overrated, Rance. I just think the whole system of the Cardinals is overrated. That's where I'm at. Yo, Tony Trill. Tony's coming on. Let's see. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Tony, what up, man?
What's good, Lawson?
Yo, how you been?
Chilling, I'm hanging. How everybody? How everybody's good? How you?
Dude, I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome.
Good to hear. Just give me 1 sec.
Dude, kill the sound. Yeah, kill the sound.
Yeah, just killed it. My bad. But I usually like favorites, but I find myself liking a lot of underdogs this week. You know, I feel like the most publicly favorite underdog we kind of all agree on. I haven't seen one person outright say I want Dallas -3. I haven't seen anybody say it yet. I think everybody's on the Niners, and I'm leaning that direction too because they're not the same team that went to the Super Bowl, but this Dallas team kind of reminds me of that Vikings team they played in the divisional when they in the playoff when they had those receivers. They had Dalvin Cook. They had a pass rush with Danielle Hunter. They had they had playmakers on defense. They were a good defense, but they weren't a great defense. And I just feel like
and Vikings got their ass kicked that game.
Right, exactly. And I feel like here's the thing, Cowboys are 1-5 when they don't rush for 100. If they ain't gonna get a run pass balance and they get one dimensional, you know that Bosa brother's gonna make some noise.
Well, that's the thing. On the right side, is weak, and everyone's like, "Oh, Tyron Smith," but okay,
he's not the same, bro. Tyron is not the same dude, bro.
They put him out there on stitch work and bubble gum,
bro, straight up. He's got the old school plate in the back. You know what I'm talking about? No, yeah, he got all the he's like a creative player. He looked like real shit. He does. He straight up looks like that.
Yo, and listen, but aren't you a little bit worried about Shanahan getting too pass happy this game? That's really my only worry. It makes me not want to bet it, Tony.
Here's the reason why he's pass happy, Lawson. I'm glad you brought that up. Since Thanksgiving, this is going to be hard to believe. I know you hate stats. Jimmy G, since Thanksgiving, is second in completion percentage, first in passing yards per attempt, and top 5 in passing yards, 20-plus yards. Now, I don't know who he played. I think one of them was he played the Rams, but he had some decent game, opponents down the stretch that were
he played the Titans. He played a Seahawks team that was pretty decent, not as bad as the record. Yeah,
you can't say these were powder puff teams. These were teams that wanted to win those games. You know what I'm saying? Where he's getting those stats.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is the 8-man fronts, and I know Shanahan wants to do it, but sometimes you got to even run it with the 8-man fronts. It's just
no, really, yeah. And that offensive line is Trent Williams, Alex Mack. They got dogs on that offensive line that could really get a push, straight up. Debo in the backfield, yeah.
They gotta work Debo Samuel in the game more ways. They gotta use him like you said, use him in the backfield, use him on end arounds, do something with him. Don't just let him stand out there and on the outside. It's kind of a waste of talent. And everyone on this podcast loves Elijah Mitchell. I don't love him all that much. I want to get that in Debo's hands more than you can, obviously, because you don't want Debo running like Cordell Patterson or some shit. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you just got to find a way to get. He's a playmaker, bro. He's thrown a touchdown this season. He's ran for touchdowns this season. He's caught touchdowns. He's just playmaker straight up. I'm not really too big on prop bets. Call me dumb. Just a little one out there. Wouldn't be surprised if I see Kyle Juszczyk get a touchdown.
I would. Dude, they got because they love goal line, 2 tight ends, fullback, fucking fake it to the running back, flat, easy money.
Easy money,
that's
bro. He's a nice, like I can see like a little delay fade release, like he's on a block like Gronk would be in the red zone, and then just catches a flat for a touchdown, easy.
Yo, and Michael, man, I kind of agree with you. I want to respond to this comment. I feel like Deebo Samuel is going to destroy Trayvon Diggs. And, like, I kind of agree with you because I've been impressed with what Trayvon Diggs has done this whole year. Like, don't get me wrong, but he's extremely aggressive, and they could hit him on a double move. It's just – I actually think Deebo will win that battle, as crazy as it sounds.
No, that's really not that crazy if you break it down. He's like he's a real gambler. He leads the league in picks. He got 11 interceptions, but I think his yards against is like 800 plus. Like you can get yards on him. And Deebo is that type of receiver. He's a yards after catch guy. So like, burn him.
And Tony, here's what makes me nervous. Like Reggie's saying exactly, NFL needs Dallas to go past first round this year. Like, bro, when we start like sending the fishing pole out, searching for that shit, like that means like there's no like
football X and O.
Yeah,
exactly. If we're using out of bounds research. Yeah.
We're just using any given Sunday Al Pacino logic, which is true. I mean, this game is crazy. That's why we love it. And it is physical. Sometimes people quit. And no one wants to hear that. That sometimes players quit during games because the physicality gets too hot. But I just can't see Dallas doing it to them. But, yeah, I am nervous about it. Like, I'm not even hating on Reg for saying that. Like, I am nervous about it because, you know what? It's just
that secondary can get exploited. 49ers secondary could get exploited. That's a real thing. But like you're gambling on, I'm taking the Niners playoff experience. Jimmy G's been in playoff games. Dak's been in one, but like I just feel like the Niners right now they're more of a rhythm. And the last couple of weeks, Dallas has been like they've shown flashes, but they haven't really been consistent as the Niners have been. So I'm just gonna go with the hotter hand in my opinion on that one.
What other games are you watching?
I wanted to hear your thoughts on Raiders Bengals. Like how confident are you on that one?
I'm pretty confident Raiders cover, not full confidence level but I really do think this Raiders cover 3 is going to limit the explosive plays. Now, Bengals can run it. Their offensive line isn't all that bad at run blocking, and we know Mixon can ball. It's just I think they're going to start feeling pressure. They're going to start feeling heat. Then they're going to throw it too much, and I think they're going to get into trouble. But I am a little bit worried about Carr. Because everything's set up for him to win this battle. Bengals play a lot of like lazy cover too, like really lazy man-to-man, like putting safeties on Waller in the last matchup, isolated on one side of the field with no help, like lazy shit like that, Tony. Like Carr should be able to exploit that. I'd like to see if he does.
100% glad you brought that up. Versus tight ends this season, Bengals defense is 29th in yards, 28th in receptions, 21st in just every major stat versus tight ends. They're not good, and that's Darren Waller Day.
That's the top 20 player in this league if we're not talking about quarterbacks. So,
really? Yeah, definitely.
You know,
I'm not like Riley Reef. I'm paying attention to that injury. You know that right side.
He's out. Correct. Officially.
I'm not 100%, but I think it's leaning that direction. I'm gonna check Schefter. But like I would check that. Max Crosby leads the league in pressures. He got 82 QB pressures. I know you're not big on stats, but he has a motor. He does a real motor.
True. And then eventually Ngakoue's gonna go off, and Ngakoue's might be nastier than Max Crosby, which is how crazy this defensive line can get at you. Like, and even Quentin Jefferson was tearing it up. Now we know the Chargers. We know the Chargers' offensive line's fugazi. Okay, we've been saying it all year, no doubt about it, but still was impressed.
It's fugazi, but Bengals ain't like a whole level higher. You know what I'm saying? It's not that much of a gap disparity.
They're level lower because that Chargers defensive line raped them last time they played.
Bosa had a day. Did Bosa have a good day on that one?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He killed him. I think Max Crosby has a decent game. Maybe not sacks, but like just pressures and like tip passes. I feel like he just makes his presence felt in the game. That cover 3 defense we're talking about, I think I have it right here. Raiders defense is 5th in yards per attempts allowed. No, yards per allowed, so like 6.6. third in yards per catch. They don't really let the big play happen. They did a really good job of that about that Charger game. What if I told you Justin Herbert, you know how many big plays he has. He threw the
was
ball.
phenomenal.
He was. What if I told you he threw the ball 64 times and only averaged 6 yards per play type shit? He only averaged 6 yards. Right?
Bro,
like that. You got to limit it. Yeah.
Even those completions he had, the degree of difficulty was so high. So you got to give the Raiders the credit. I agree with you.
You could argue coaching lost that game, really. Like that 4th and 1 inside their 20, like that's mad. That's
we've been saying that guy's a joke all year, man. Yeah. Like he looks like he's on like pumped. Not even trying to like personally assault people because people think I fucking do blow. I never done blow in my life, but he looks like he's fucking on Adderall or some shit, bro.
True.
Like he's like,
yeah, Brandon's like, let's go.
It's like,
I respect it, like going for it, but like there are some boundaries inside your own 20. Like you can't do that.
Why are you throwing a game away?
Really?
And he could have took a tie, but he pissed the Raiders off because he's actually like an asshole.
It's like 38 seconds. Just let them get the first down. Game's over. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. That game when they played earlier in the season, I think it was like week 11 or something. The Joe Mixon game, he had 30 carries, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. If they can limit that, yeah, they got the better receivers in terms of Higgins and Boyd and Chase. But like we said, they can limit the big play. I just feel like the Raiders, they have a better sense of urgency right now. I feel like the Bengals are just feeling themselves a little too much right now. I think
what happened week 18 with them not playing anyone, they played some people, but most of the team rested, correct? Against the Browns. I think that's going to have an effect, a negative
on a young team like that. They need to be in a rhythm, you know? Like you can't let a young team stay stagnated like that, I feel. So I feel like the momentum's on the Raider side coming into this. I like a teaser for sure. I'd be willing to gamble on the straight, but the teaser sounds like more a solid play.
Yeah, let me get to the super chat. Went with Tampa Bay money line, KC money line, and Rams money line for plus. I actually like that for the odds, although like that's 3. It's 3 ones in a crazy NFL playoffs, but you got to think Tampa Bay KC is going to hit that. And my Rams pick should come through. And sorry about missing the super chats. My bad about that.
I like that play. Funny enough, I like Tampa Bay KC money line, and I was thinking about parlaying it with the main event on that UFC card this weekend.
Who you got in the main event?
Cater's a dog, dude, but I'm going Giga. I think Giga's got it.
You think Giga's going to wrestle him?
No, I think Cater's going to wrestle him.
Bro.
That's what I think's going to happen.
I thought Cater would just come in there, like, try to, like, punch him like he did against
I'm hearing Cater's
stand-up.
He's trying to grapple with him, I hear. Like, you kind of have to because, like, Giga's tall, powerful, reach, and I don't want to get off topic.
He's got a good kick, right? He's got a really good kick.
Bro, Edson. Just watch that Edson fight, bro. That's all you got to see. What he did to Edson was crazy. That shit was nasty. He's a world karate champion. He got kicks for days.
I'll watch that.
So I think that.
What
were you going to say, Lawson?
Oh, no, nothing. Any other games you're looking to bet?
Yeah. So Pats, I'm riding with the hoodie. I'm just gonna go with the hoodie. 7-3 in their last 10 versus the Bills. I know most of those were like Brady and this, that, and the third, but I look at those 3 Bills wins. 2 of those were against Cam Newton. Yeah. So I don't think I think there's a real thing between Belichick and Allen. It's psychologically. I think that defense, it's elite. It's second in QBR, second in yards per attempt.
Just don't go money line. Just sit comfy with the +4, and that shit might be a few. I think it's going to be a close game this weekend.
I love Pat's teaser, but I'd be willing to potentially gamble the 4. But I think teaser, maybe Raiders and Pats is where I'm probably going.
I would not be opposed to that. Would not be opposed to that.
Yeah. Well, do you think that's going to be an over in that Raiders-Bengals game?
I got the read on an under, but we know that game can transform into a shootout, man.
Right.
But how the fuck did that Bengals, Raiders like we saw that Raiders Chargers game, even though it was a defensive type game, like look at how good the Raiders defense played. That ended up transforming into a shootout. So
it did. And Joe Burrow can do shit like that, just like Herbert can. So, but if it's under, you're definitely feeling good if you're the Raiders in that situation.
If it's under, the Raiders win.
But yeah, I think we're pretty much on the same page. I like the Niners. I like the Pats. I think teasers are for solid, but there's some people in the chat for sure, the big players that want to go straight, and I don't blame you if you do. But yeah, I usually like favorites, and I find myself liking a lot of the underdogs this week. The only two favorites I think win for sure, Tampa and KC. Those are the only two I'm for sure that win.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend, man.
It is, bro. Straight up.
All right.
But appreciate you, man.
All right, yo, Tony, have a great weekend, man. You got to come on in the off season and get us on some UFC, bro.
For sure, bro. Easily. Make sure to go like, follow, subscribe on Instagram, YouTube, his videos. Hit him up. Lawson NFL Bets. Best gambling show on the internet. Hope everybody does good. Let's have a good wildcard weekend.
Appreciate it, Tony. Sleep good tonight.
You too, bro.
Okay, we're getting Lauren on. Lauren, your camera's still not working. I wanted to say something.
Shut the front door. Really?
I don't understand what's going on with your camera, but
well, I reset the damn thing, so let me just turn it off and you can hear me. I had to do.
Lauren, can you play with your cameras? I just need to go take a leak just for like 30
All right,
seconds.
Let me try.
All right, sounds good. I'll be right back.
All right.
What's up, Lauren? It's like starting to change colors a little bit, but it's not going through.
Well, I just got a new camera for my laptop, but unfortunately I'm in my car. So I don't know if I need to get a new phone or what I need to do. I'm just going to talk. How about that?
Yeah, let's go. Can I ask you a personal question first?
Yo.
Are you sad that the Saints didn't make the playoffs, or are you just kind of happy to move on with the season and just wait till next year?
Listen, man, it's been a dogfight all year with this team. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not disappointed in their season. With all that they had thrown at them, no Michael Thomas from start to finish. Quarterback, talk about it's the merry-go-round of quarterbacks that are, let's be honest, not elite. Except for Jameis. I'll be honest with you, if we had Jameis the whole season, I think we'd be in it.
You would have won 11 games. Probably.
We'd be in the playoffs. We wouldn't have had to fight last week to win, which we did, and we beat the shit out of Atlanta. And I had them with the points. I usually don't take them as a favorite, never, especially against a divisional team. But I just knew that they had a chance still. So, but I'm not disappointed in the season. I've been a Saints fan a long time, man. A long time, since before we won the Super Bowl, since everything. So they had happened what happened. I think next year, I'm on with my phone, Michael, man. I'm using my phone. I don't know. I use this phone all the time before to come
iPhone?
on. No, I have Android.
Oh,
and I've used it 1,000 times. In fact, I just did this to see if. Hold on a minute. Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, not coming.
I'm going to try this. Can you see my car? If I flip the camera over, does it
Let's
show
see.
you my car?
No, it's not showing us anything.
What a
It's just
crock of
the
shit.
colors. Yeah.
All
All right.
right,
That's just
so-
not football.
All right, so whatever the case, just ignore I'm literally in a parking lot right now. So, and somebody's calling me. Let me ignore. Who in the hell can tell me how Philly is gonna cut? How? With what? With what? I just want to know. And Lawson, I ride with you 90% of the time. What makes you think they are gonna cut? What? Who? Nick Sirianni is gonna manage this team to keep it close to Tampa in a playoff game in Tampa?
The plants are fertilizing.
They don't have a Saints defense. I'm sorry, because the Saints can do it. We've seen it every year. All right. And not to bring up the Saints, but the Redskins somehow can figure it out. Philly is not going to cover the spread. I hate to be your spoiler here, in my opinion. This is my opinion.
Is Tampa Bay the same team since that Saints loss?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that Brady was doing fine without AB, without Godwin.
Antonio
he's
Brown's
still
the best player on that team.
right, but we didn't have him for 6 weeks, and
I know.
and he was still making superstars out of the Water Boys. I mean, he can throw to any. The thing about Drew Brees and Tom Brady, they don't have to throw 95-yard balls. They have to throw darts that are accurate, that you can just put your hand in front of you and it falls right into your gut. That's all they got to do. That's why they're so successful. I really think he can throw. I mean, Gronk is going to be a beast. We all know that. I think that he can throw it to Gronk or Cameron Brate or the other new kid that came out of nowhere, Brashard Perryman. Whoever he finds will be that week's superstar, that week's darling. I'm just telling you, they'll win by 10 at least, maybe more. That's my opinion. We can agree to disagree.
Okay, here's the thing though.
And I hate Tampa. I hate the Buccaneers.
But Lord, everything you said is true. But Tampa Bay's coming in here limping. Like this is a limp in here. They're a wounded dog coming. They came in last year wounded and still won, but they had AB. And I listen. I think Brady's awesome, and you don't want to go against playoff Brady. But I'm even starting to question this Tampa Bay defense. You guys have been trying to hammer that into me all year, and I'm actually starting to get worried about that.
I would be worried on the Tampa Bay defense if they were playing anybody else. I would think that they wouldn't cover a spread against any other person in the playoffs, with the exception of Philly.
Let me read this from RJ88. Just came across TV. Fournette is doubtful with a hamstring injury.
What about Rojo? He's out. Ronald Jones.
Someone told me Ronald Jones was out. I haven't seen it for myself, so I can't say.
So do they really? Are they really going to need to run the ball, or can Brady just launch it around to Gronk and find somebody else to can they? Do they really need? I mean, Bruce Arians, I trust over Nick Sirianni. Let's start there. And number two, there's a couple teams that have figured out Tampa. Philly's not one of them.
Yeah, we're getting news that Ronald Jones is out too. It is risky proposition.
They got Keyshawn Vaughn. Keyshawn Vaughn will make whatever big long run plays he's got to do, like he did last week. I think they covered the spread with Carolina. I don't know if they did or not, but at least before they will make plays with the people they've got because of who's running that game. I'm just saying, if they were playing Cincinnati, or they were playing the 49ers, or they were even playing, for crying out loud, the Rams, or they would not cut. With Philly, this is basically a pass for them. They're fine.
I don't know if Philly's that weak. Like Philly has like a very vanilla defense. but their defensive line's still somewhat decent. And they can cover a little bit. And yes, we know Philly. Look at the teams they played the last 6 weeks. They played absolutely no one. They played the Cowboys and got blown out, but that game didn't matter. But they played no one the last 6 weeks. But, I with the Fournette thing, doesn't that make you pause a little bit?
No, because Fournette was not even a factor for this team for the longest time. For the longest time, he had really no big, huge factor until more recently this year.
Well, that Bills game was a masterpiece by him, and
was.
But that's the thing with Tampa; like they need new people to step up, and I'm just wondering, like without Antonio Brown, I'm worried about it. Like I'm more worried about, and Chris Godwin's not walking through that door. I'm more worried about that.
Mike Evans will be in there. Mike Evans will be in there. Gronk is going to be in there, and whatever 2 or 3 guys that they find that they've got pulling off the bench from here and there have been practicing the last 2 weeks for this game. And I'm telling you, and the minute one of those guys screws up, because Keyshawn Vaughn cannot block very well. He's not a very good blocker, but he can make some runs. So the minute he screws up, he'll be out of the game, and you'll see Le'Veon Bell. Okay? But
we're relying on Le'Veon Bell to win playoff games.
No, not to win the playoff game, but I'm saying they will rotate whoever they need to make this work. I'm not on Philly covering. I'm just not. No one's going to change my mind. I'm just. I don't trust Nick Sirianni. I don't trust Nick Sirianni to make good decisions when the time is right. You'll see them go for 2 for some stupid effing reason for no reason. And then all of a sudden, here comes Tampa and they score. Now they're up by 10. And then all of a sudden they get a pick 6. Now they're up by 17. What? You know what I mean? So
I just to address something in the comment section. I'm not necessarily changing the pick, but I'll tell you what. No. I'll tell you what, though, like it's making me pause when Mike said Fournette was going to be out because I overshadowed this game. I was watching tape for other games this week, like that Cincinnati Oakland game. You have to work with new information. There's a reason we don't put the bets into Friday night.
I'll tell you, I am 1,000% on San Francisco. It's my best bet of the week. I've got a lot on that. I'm on the money line. I'm on them to cover. I'm on them because let's be honest. How did Arizona go into Dallas a few weeks ago and win? By running the ball. They went in there and ran the ball, and that's how they beat Dallas. And that's exactly what San Francisco's got to do with Eli Mitchell, JaMychal Hayes, whoever the hell they've got over there. Like they're going to, especially with Eli Mitchell. Okay. And I'm more confident with Jimmy G than I am the new kid. So as long as they keep Jimmy in there doing just what he needs to do, relying on what he needs to do, giving what the defense gives him to work with, as long as he does that, they're winning that game 1,000%.
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, that game was the one that stood out to me when I first looked at it. I'm not going to change the pick, and I actually think I will end up probably will. We'll see on Patreon if I end up betting it. But I agree with everything you said. I'm just worried about Shanahan just going haywire, throwing it 35 times. And, we have to worry about that. But
yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, like, if it's going to be a Keyshawn Vaughn moment or a Cameron Brate moment or Scotty Miller or whoever the hell you got going on there, it's going to be their moment for that game. I think that the Raiders are another one of those teams that have nothing to lose and everything to win. They lost their coach. They lost one of their star wide receivers this year. They're going to go in there with everything to win and nothing to lose because nobody expected them to be there.
I'm fucking so excited. Is it just me or I'm so damn excited for that Raiders Bengals game?
I am too, and I am so I love Joey Burrows and I love Mixon and I love this Jamar Chase and I hope they win. I want them to go all the way. I really do because I love everything. Cincinnati has waited, it seems like 1,000 years for any of this shit to happen with that team, and for them to even go anywhere. And that team is pumped, and they get a home playoff game. Do you know how long that? Just like the Bills. Do you know how long the Bills have been waiting to win the AFC at home like they did last week. They've been waiting a long time for this stuff. So me and you are from up there. We know. We've been around this Bills Mafia. I've been around them my whole life. So don't count them out. And I got them over New England all day.
Tell us why you got them over New England.
They're starting to run the ball with Singletary. They haven't done it all year until the last few weeks. They're starting to do it. Josh Allen has been waiting for this moment. He's waiting for this moment. He's already beat New England. He's already got that under his belt. Now he's at home. He's in Buffalo. They proved last time that they played that they can figure that team out after they got that weird, wonky loss. And what is the line? 4.5? One under a touchdown? That team's gonna have a field day.
Yeah, a field day? A field day?
Maybe I say they win by a touchdown.
There's going to be a game that turns into a blowout that no one expects. But yeah, I talked plenty about the game. But one game I want your opinion on that I'm really curious about is what do you think about the Rams against Arizona?
I knew that was coming.
Do you think I'm getting fucking set up for a trap here?
Listen, there's going to be one way that Arizona wins this game, and I hope that they do. But I'm with you on the Rams, but I think it's going to be a very close whoever has the ball last kind of shit. And I'm telling you, the way that they're going to win this game is James Conner is the X factor. Do you not see how much better they play when he's in there making plays? They are so much better. They are so much better of a team when he's in there bulldozing through the goal lines and catching balls and run. I'm not lying. They are a much better team when he's effective.
It was because a lot of the times he was playing, DeAndre Hopkins was out there, and no one had caught up to Cliff Kingsbury yet. Come on.
And saying
he's better power back than Chase Edmonds. But
right.
Yeah,
so I'm saying if they can do a Kamara Ingram type thing or a Chubb Hunt type thing that's done in the past, that's what will win this game. Otherwise, they're going to get killed.
And I think they will. I think this running game is going to be more about Kyler Murray going off than it is about.
And he can run. He can run. He's only 5'10". I mean, the kid can. He's little.
He's
you know what I mean?
5'8" to me. But.
He's little. He can run. He can get through. You saw him do it several times. You know, when teams get beat their week before the playoffs, like they just got lost to Seattle. They got slapped in the face over by Seattle. Like I said, the big plays that they had and all the scoring that they had, it was James Conner and Kyler Murray. That's who made all the plays. Now, Zach Ertz, in my opinion, is their biggest option for passing. That's my opinion.
Yeah, he's going to go over. But that's the problem. When you're down to Zach Ertz and when you're down to AJ Green, and I used to love it.
It's tough. It's tough. It is. It's tough. And I'm saying right now, it's going to be their run game that wins it for them if they win it all. It's going to be because James Conner goes in 2 or 3 times. James Conner has to be very Kamara-like to win this game. And if he can be Kamara-like,
he's not Kamara. Come on.
I said if he can be Kamara-like, they will win the game.
Well, Lauren, if I could be fucking LeBron James, I could fucking play in that fucking NBA, but it ain't gonna fucking happen. But yeah, no, they need to run it. They need to pound it. And because the Rams, they seem to sell out for the pass rush a bit too much.
Listen, Arizona went into Dallas and ran the shit out of that ball with their running backs and ran it right down Dallas's throat. Okay? That's what they did against that Dallas defense. So if they can do that again, they'll have some magic. But if they don't, they'll get killed.
What do you think?
They'll get killed.
But before you go, what do you think about Steelers Chiefs? You playing that, or you should stay the hell away?
I mean, I have to play it as part of my league that I'm in. I don't have a choice.
Are you going to win your league at least?
I hope so. We'll see. I think this is Ben's retirement party. This game right here. So, I think the Steelers are done. This is their one and done. They got lucky and got in. They got in for Ben. They do not have the power, the strength. They don't have the ability or the playmakers to go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. They just
Can
don't.
you and before you get off, respond to this question. We're going back to the Bills Patriots. This is from Neil. Don't be fooled by that second matchup. Do you actually believe the GOAT Bill Belichick was actually playing his real defense, knowing full well he would meet the Bills again in the playoffs? I get what he's saying, but that is like
I don't think anybody lets down on divisional games. Did it look like last week Seattle let down, or Arizona was letting down, or did it look like the Rams were letting down on San Fran? Did it look like any of them were playing soft? No, they were all still playing to win. So when you're playing a divisional game, I don't think Belichick doesn't take loss well. So I don't think he's going to try to not play to win ever. In my opinion.
Well, because they're playing for seeding, but I also think there's some relevance to that game because I think the hoodie did get surprised about Josh Allen just running it so much and rolling right so much, which I don't know why he got surprised about it, but they did seem a little caught off guard by that, and I think that's what changed the game. And I'm not sure this Bills front seven can still hold up. I don't know if they've answered our questions. And
where did Devin Singletary come from all of a sudden week 15? 14.
Where did against the Panthers and Jets? I mean,
he hasn't even been on the field until these last few weeks. Why?
Well, they used to like using Zach Moss more, and Devin Singletary. He had a lot of fumbles last year. I think maybe that's why he got phased out. But I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to that Pats Bills game though. That's going to be.
I am too. It's going to be cold. It's going to be It's going to be like 7 degrees, I think. So it's going to be a ground out, dirty, tough game. So I'm looking.
I got to. Sorry to cut you off, but how would the hoodie know he was facing the Bills in the first round? Like that's what I'm not.
You can't predict all the other games. You can't predict all the other games.
Yeah, like I'm pretty good at using my brain to like think back, and I have a pretty good recollection of the season. You guys are fucking like killing my brain with that one. I don't know if that's possible. You don't think
New England was still trying to win the division at that point in time? They were still trying. They're still trying to win the division.
They had a chance at the number 1 seed,
right? And so if Bill could have gotten those games to go through Foxborough, you don't think he was trying to do that? You guys are crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. Yes, I do. I do have some last words. The one game that I have to figure out a total for. What do you got for the Monday night total?
I'm going under.
Like a total score.
Total score.
If you were to make a throw at it.
24-17. What's 24-17? Let me add it up. I got a pen and pad here.
41.
24. Yeah, you're right. Good math.
I'm a banker.
Oh, you're a banker. Okay, 24-17, 41. Yeah, I would go that, or I would go 27-20. I would go in that
46. Range. So under 50?
Yeah, I'm going under 50. I really like under in that game. The more the week goes on, surprising, right? Because both teams in both matchups move the ball pretty well.
They're high octane offenses.
Yeah, really high octane. High turnover offenses too.
True. And you do you not have Cincinnati winning this?
This game, I got Cincinnati winning, but I'm really sure the Raiders cover at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Do we know Waller's back? Waller's back?
Waller's good to go. He played last week, looked pretty decent, got a lot of double coverage, so didn't get too much into the game. But him and Renfrow are full go. I mean, we'll see though, because the Raiders, they play in a box, and if Josh Jacobs doesn't get going, it could get ugly. That's why I'm not on that money line. But I like what you're saying, and I just said earlier they got nothing to lose and everything to win. But my God, if one team out of this
playoff week, if one team's got more playmakers, who's got more than Cincinnati? Between Burrows and Mixon and Chase and the other two that he's got, he even throws it to that crazy tight end every now and again. If one team, who's got more playmakers than Cincinnati?
Cincinnati's got a lot, especially with T. Higgins' emergence. But the first game they played, the Bengals didn't get anything big.
Sure.
So,
I never determine a team's value off their best or worst game ever. So I don't determine this week off of how bad or good they were before, because we're in the playoffs. It's a whole new ballgame. They're hosting a home playoff game for probably the first time since before Christ. Okay? 800 BC. That's probably what you're looking at. That team is going to be on fire. So, but you're right. The thing with, the Raiders, they really weren't supposed to be here. Pittsburgh wasn't supposed to be here. Okay? The Raiders weren't supposed to be here. So, again, everything to gain, nothing to lose. But I think out of all these teams with all the injuries, we talked about them with Tampa. I mean, freaking Philly had 19 people on COVID last week. Are they all better? Are they all back? Because let's hope so. Otherwise, they have no chance. Out of all these people, all these teams, nobody else has as many playmakers as Joe Burrow and his team. Now, what he does with them, we'll see. I mean, we've seen what he's been doing with them. But what he does with this in a playoff scenery, we'll see. But nobody's got more than him. I don't care who you're talking about.
Yeah,
they got the most.
I just like what the Raiders defense has been doing since around week 11, 12. They keep everything in front, and we'll see if this Bengals O-line can hold up. Remember when the Chargers smacked their ass around?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a little bit concerned about that on them out of
Oh, yeah. I agree. And, I had the biggest heartbreak last week because you know how much I love Justin Herbert, and he's my boy, and I wanted everything for him.
He played so good too, but
God, he did play so well.
You got to get help. You got to get coaching. You got to get offensive line play, and he didn't get any of that. That was one of the better quarterback games I've seen the whole year. Stats aren't going to tell that story, and the results certainly didn't tell the story. But
I think he converted like every fourth down. No matter, it didn't even matter how many yards it was. He literally converted like every fourth down. So
except you know what? That's it. 20-yard line.
Exactly,
really
but that
in the game, which was just ridiculous.
That kid has got such a bright future, and that organization, if they make the right draft picks, and if they do the right things, they're going to be okay. They're like a year away from a really good. They got the Saints. Their coach came from the Saints.
We'll
so
I don't.
We'll see what happens. I know you don't like him. I'm saying he came from the States. Hopefully hopefully he can draft as well as the Saints have in the past. So we'll see. All
right, Lauren.
All right. Good luck to you, everybody. Good luck to guys.
You went hard. Have a great week, guys.
Thanks. You too.
See you, Lauren. Thank you for coming on.
Bye. Thank you.
Get the camera working next time.
I'm good. Jeez. Listen, I had the freaking Verizon. I had them try to fix it. They said it was fixed. They're full of shit. Clearly, it's not fixed.
Dude, service is at an all-time low in the United States, so they're not going to.
Well, I've got a brand new laptop that I planned on using, but because I'm in the car, I couldn't. So,
all right, Lauren, we'll get you on.
I'll catch you next week for sure.
All right, see ya.
All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.
All right, let's get Johnny Gonzalez on. Johnny, I sent the link to your email. Let's get this money. We got Ron House's Rams money line. You guys are going hard in the comment section. Yo, okay. Let's not even do the small talk. Let's just get the Cowboys Niners because we need to get an opposing view.
Yeah, no, I get it. First off, I want to address Tony because I'm the one and only person you need that's taking Dallas minus the 3.
We got you. We got you here live. So let's get to
All right.
it.
Let me get just there we go. I'm all set up now. All right. So I don't know. I think Kellen Moore he's holding a lot. He was holding a lot back in the last few games. Because if you notice, at some point in the season, halfway through, there wasn't that many downfield plays, that many trick plays, big plays. And I think once they realized that they're going to get in the playoffs because that division was locked up, I think he started hiding some of his plays. For one, Tyron Smith, he's obviously really good, and I think that helps out a lot. But like addressing some of the defensive things that you were saying, Micah Parsons, obviously, Trayvon Diggs, good. But don't forget about DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory off the edges. And they have a good rotation in the middle on the tackles. So I think that they will be able to stop the run, but not completely. They're going to get a few explosive plays, and that's honestly what's going to help them out the most.
If they like, okay, let's throw out a hypothetical stat. If they hold the 49ers under like 125 rush yards, they're going to win the game.
Right.
But can they? And how's the linebacking core looking?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, aside from Micah Parsons, I think him and Vander Esch probably switch in and out. But yeah, that is a big question. I'm really thinking that Jimmy Garoppolo is just gonna fuck up. He's done good enough to get himself into the playoffs, but I think that that streak is over.
Well, and that's the problem. I'm to the point where I don't know if I can bet money just because is Shanahan going to call like 9 passes in a row when the Niners are up 3 points in the third quarter? And what's that going to do? And like, listen, the Cowboys, they should be ready to go off on offense. Like CeeDee Lamb is creating, for me, he's creating as much separation as anyone in this league right now. Could be wrong, but from what I'm seeing, he's creating a shitload of separation. And this Niners secondary is slow. So
everyone's always paying attention to CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, rightfully so, right? And everyone's worried that Michael Gallup is gone. But Cedric Wilson backing up Michael Gallup, he's getting all the targets, all the little things dumped off, and he catches the deep balls too. Like he's probably a good prop bet to make whatever his over is on reception yards, honestly.
It's actually really low. It was like, I think I saw it today. Don't quote me, but I think it was like 34.
Yeah,
and a half.
I think he goes over that easily. That's Dak's main like safety blanket because whenever CeeDee Lamb's not open, I mean, Amari Cooper's really only used as a deep threat guy, so they're always just focused on those two. I mean, Cedric Wilson's going to go over that total easily.
Are you a little bit nervous as a Cowboys fan?
Hell yeah, of course I am.
Like, aren't you worried? Yeah, like we talk a lot about the Jimmy G choke. We've seen some crazy Dallas chokes back in the day. We haven't seen one in recent, like in the last year and a half. I don't think we've seen one that I can remember.
Well, the Dallas chokes come from Tony Romo, right? Tony Romo is the one that fucks things up. Has Dak Prescott really fucked things up on a game-winning drive? That was
not really
his fault. Exactly. So like those chokes can correlate to Tony Romo, and we've seen what Dak can do. And to point off the Arizona game, there was a fumble that didn't get reviewed. That was a fumble. They got that reviewed, the Cowboys recovered. I think Cowboys score and win that game. No, there's no talk about how Arizona wins or anything like that. So it's debatable.
And I don't want to go too hard with like rehashing Zona against the Cowboys, but you could make a case if Mike McCarthy managed the clock a little bit better.
Oh yeah,
Dallas would have won it regardless of that call. It was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted to ask you right now. What do you think about the Shanahan versus McCarthy matchup?
I don't know. That's. I mean, it's a good one. Well, there was also, I think Dan Quinn used to work under the 49ers, right, with Shanahan. So there's like talk that like Shanahan knows his defensive schemes and he's not going to be able to do like stop Shanahan. I don't know. I don't buy it. I think we have a lot of dogs on our defense.
That's bullshit, bro. Like, especially since Trayvon Diggs, he does what he wants. Like,
literally, he does what he wants. You put him in
a cover 3, he's going to do what he wants. Like,
yeah. And the other, I don't know if it's corner or safety. He's the rookie, Jordan something. He replaced Javon Curse when he got hurt. he killed it his first game. That was like, I think the first game against Washington. They pulled him out for the Zona game. They put him back in last week, killed it. Also had another interception. So like, I think the DBs are pretty set for this game, and they're ready to pick off Jimmy G. It's just all about that interior if they can stop that run.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. It's really going to come down to the interior, and it's not sexy. Also, I think it comes down to coaching a little bit, because one thing I want to see Dallas do, one reason why I think they started the season so good, correct me if I'm wrong, they would come out like perfect run pass balance. I absolutely loved it. Like, then they set up the play action. Like, Dak is nasty on play action.
Yeah.
But so I want to see them run it a lot, and you should try to run it against the 49ers. It's not the 49ers of 3-4 years ago when they could lock everything up, when they had Buckner on the line. That really helped. So.
Right. And another thing too, have you noticed that whenever Zeke is in, he doesn't perform well, but as soon as Pollard gets in, he just breaks these 10, 15-yard runs. So I think the defenses are just focusing on Zeke, and they forget about Pollard or these other backup backs, and they just kill it. So we'll still get over 100 yards rushing, I think.
Well, and that's the interesting part, because everyone wants to hate on Zeke, and listen, he's not as good as he used to be. But like you said, when Zeke's in there, there's 8-man fronts. And 8-man fronts with like these two thoroughbreds on the outside is dangerous. Now, I don't think San Fran's going to do that. They have to stay in their shell because they can't run in the secondary. They're slow as fuck. So they're going to stay in their shell. So you guys got to run it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen more so with Tony Pollard than Zeke. I mean, I'm hoping Zeke finally just steps it up, playoff scenario, But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
It's going to be a good game, man.
Dalton Schultz has been scoring every single game. I think he might have missed one for like the past 5 or 6 games. Another prop bet you guys can hammer. Anytime touchdown
score. What's the prop for him? Anytime touchdown score?
Yeah.
I got you. It'll be low, too. It'll be low.
Yeah. So, yeah, those anytime touchdowns, just hammer the tight ends or the running backs. That's just usually what they go for.
Yeah. And any other bets you're looking for?
Honestly, I'm kind of scared because, I mean, I like a lot of the dogs, but I put a lot of the dogs in the teaser, kind of what you did, except I put the Cowboys in, and I hooked it around the 0 because I think that if the Cowboys lose, they're not going to lose by more than 3. It's going to be a dogfight if they lose.
Yeah, they're not. San Fran can't beat anyone by more than 3.
Exactly, and I think the Cowboys have a legitimate chance at beating them by like 10 or more, just because of the Jimmy G factor. But other games that I do like, I was really heavy on Cincy, but just after listening to your point of view and just thinking about the Raiders, I mean, the way they've been playing lately, I do think they cover. I think they cover, but Cincy wins.
Yeah, and not to try to go too psychological, but I do think Cincy is going to clutch up a little bit, at least in the first half. Maybe they catch heat in the second half. We know Cincy, they can catch heat.
Well, what I did is I placed a bet for the first half for the Raiders and the Patriots first half bets, because I think that they can take the first half and it's going to come down to the end.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then, like, what do you? So you said you're feeling the underdogs. Are you feeling the Steelers?
No, I'm staying away from that game.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, there's so much story behind it, like Big Ben and stuff. So you would have to think that Tomlin and Big Ben are gonna like play their ass off and at least cover the spread, right? You would have to think so. But Kansas City is just so explosive, and it takes a while for the Steelers to get going. Like I made a comment earlier in the chat that like their past 5 games or so only scored 3 points in the first half. The 2 games that they didn't score 3 points, they got 10. They were tied up with Baltimore, and then they were leading Cleveland 10-0.
Yeah, and the Browns just gave them it. Like, that wasn't even
exactly.
a competitive football game. That shouldn't have been on TV.
So they're going to have to play comeback against the Chiefs. And are they really going to be able to come back on the Chiefs? Like, the Chiefs might run away with this.
Yeah, and I actually think the Chiefs are going to, like, start lackadaisical, but like you said, isn't even going to make a damn bit of difference, probably.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know if I'm going to bet the Dallas game. I'm probably just going to watch it. I have it in the teaser, but I think I might just watch it as a fan, stick to the
just
rule.
Watch it as a fan. Dude, no. Okay. You're a Dallas Cowboys supporter. You should know, as I'm a Vikings fan, when we get to the playoffs, it's not like you sit back and it's relaxing. You're going to be fucking pulling your hair out. So
exactly.
I mean, because I still love football like I did when I was a kid. If the Vikings get in the playoffs, I get a little bit of anxiety before the game. The hands start getting a little bit sweaty. I'm ready. I don't need the bet, man.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, I might just do some live bets, some prop bets on the live, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm going to post some prop bets on Patreon because I went full autism today. So, yeah, because it gives me more time since we have a lot less games to analyze.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'm going to post some and post some in the comment. You were telling us to be wary of I think that Tennessee game last week in the comment section. You were telling us to be wary of one game. So I want to give you credit for that.
Last week, you know what I said? Last week, I said, here's a food for thought. All the AFC West teams that are dogs win and cover. That's what I said. And you know what I did too? I played a small $50 parlay, money line, hooked it with the Rams. $50 paid out $2K.
Oh,
on top of all my single line bets that I went big on. So it's just that's perfect. I just had to read on it.
Anytime you can get money week 18, it's a blessing from God, man.
Yeah.
Because week 18 is just I'm glad we moved past that point. But I mean, Wildcard's tough this week. It's actually tough. As the week goes on, it's getting even tougher. Like with this Tampa Bay game, are you feeling the Eagles or not? You think
I'm really not. I'm not feeling the Eagles, but I'm just not impressed with the Bucks and how they closed out their season. They were even struggling a little bit against who did they play? The Panthers?
Yeah,
at the end?
They were up 7 points at the end of the first half in the third quarter.
It's just the way they've been playing. Anything can happen with the Eagles, if they get rolling. But I'm not going to play anything on it. I don't think the Eagles can upset them. They might come in for a cover, but that's about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Any last words?
No, that's it. I just had to back my Cowboys for a little bit, give you some food for thought.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because, like you said, I think it comes down to the defensive tackle rotation and Mike McCarthy sticking with the run.
If the Cowboys win this game, I think they make it to the Super Bowl. I think they can take out the Packers in Lambeau.
Okay, we'll hold you to that. I like the bold pick because the Packers are vulnerable. Listen, even though I think this is the best Packers outfit we've seen, that's not saying a whole lot.
They're another team that's not that impressive down the stretch of the season.
They are. They're not peaking.
Exactly.
They peaked against the Rams, unfortunately.
Right, yeah.
And last year, Tampa Bay, they weren't peaking either at the end of the season. Then they finally got it going. But I don't think the Packers have the talent to play that way. We'll see. Hopefully, they do something in practice for my futures bet. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I have a futures bet just on the Cowboys just to make it to the Super Bowl because I think they can win it. But it's one thing getting to it and another thing winning it. So why not just bet on the NFC Championship game and that's how they get to the Super Bowl?
I think that's better. Better.
I got them at plus 600 or something like that. So that's a good bet.
Yeah, Cowboys don't get a lot of love.
No, they get a lot of hate.
Yeah, because you're the most rational Cowboys fan probably anyone's met in their life.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've learned the hard way. I've learned the hard way. You have to be rational.
Yeah, because, dude, you'll get buzzsawed real quick. Even when you think the Cowboys are going to win, we've just seen it happen so many times.
Yeah, and I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs with the Cowboys. I mean, the catch that wasn't a catch. Hopefully, we don't get nothing like that again.
Yeah, dude, you don't want to do. And like I said, it's better not to bet the Cowboys games just because you don't want any unneeded stress. Sundays are stressful enough for me. But
yeah, who do you think is going to be that one dog that makes it to the that could make it to the championship game?
The one dog, you know what?
Out of the 4 seeds, out of
Rams.
the top 4, Rams,
yeah. But we'll see. They don't got a lot of depth, man. They got no depth, and that is a problem. And look at them bringing in fucking Eric fucking Weddle this week. That's not a good sign, bro. It's like Walking Dead type stuff bringing him back. So I would go Rams, and the AFC maybe the Bills, but I don't know if the Bills even make it past the Pats.
I really think the Pats win this game.
Tell us why.
I think Tony said it before, but Bill Belichick has something up his sleeve. I'm not saying he was letting up or anything like that, but he's a playoff coach. He's been there how many times? How many Super Bowls does he have? He's gonna know how to win. He's gonna know how to win this game. He's gonna revise the defense to stop Josh Allen. And I think Mac Jones clutches up a little bit and makes the throws he needs to make, but the run's gonna get started in this game, I think.
Because that second game, everyone keeps talking about, it was Josh Allen going off and rolling to the right and running and working it down the field. And if Bill just keeps him in the pocket, says, okay, like, let's not go with a heavy rush. Let's keep him in the pocket. You got to think, man, there's going to be some picks. Like, look at Josh threw 3 INTs against the Falcons, for God's sakes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't think the Bills have looked all this great to end the season. Like, I know people are getting excited. Like, I watched that Falcons game. Falcons had a touchdown, just completely screwed out of a touchdown when they were looking to like make a comeback. It was going to make it a 1-score game in the fourth quarter. Jets game, whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I'm excited for that game. I think the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots on that one. I got to go with the Patriots.
Yeah, I can't blame you, man. I can't blame you.
I hope Burrow wins though. I want him to win. Just that'd be crazy, just like he's one of the least experienced other than Mac Jones in the playoffs, I think. And for him to just have the season he's had and finally get a division title,
I think they win, but it's going to be a dogfight. Like, I got Oakland covering that spread all the way. Like, the more I think about it, Oakland should cover. I think Burrow's going to have to pull some magic with the field goal late. I hope these games are close. Like, I really hope these teams show up because normally a wild card weekend we get 2 blowouts. I think we actually only get 1, but that may be wishful thinking on my part.
Who's that one?
Oh, Chiefs blowing out the Steelers.
Of course.
And I'm a little bit worried if things don't go good for the Niners. Listen, like, I like the Niners, but I'll tell you what, if things don't go good for them, if Dak gets that ball and it's 7-0 and then Jimmy G gets it, I worry about the 49ers in that game. It's just due to the mental health of that quarterback. The rest of the team, dude, they're dogs. But that guy, I think it's underestimated how weak-minded he is. Like, we used to pick on Tony Romo, bro. Tony Romo's a warrior compared to him.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at it too, if you look at a lot of his interceptions, a lot of them were tipped balls. I remember that because I would get so mad at all the people on TV saying, "Oh, he's throwing all these interceptions." I'm like, the receivers aren't catching it. Like, give the guy a fucking break. Like, that should not be in the stats,
And I think we realized how good like Tony Romo was after the fact.
Of course. I
guess we just like picking on him, and maybe because a lot of people were teenagers and his name like rhymed with something, and that's why we all went. I don't know, but like we don't really enjoy these quarterbacks until they're gone. Like, I used to hate Peyton Manning. Used to just like take cheap shots at him all the time until it got to his last 2 years, and I realized like, we're not getting him coming back.
Yeah, there's a couple of Tony Romos in the league right now, but they go by Carson Wentz and Kirk Cousins.
Oh. Yeah, but like for me though, Tony's way better than both of them.
Oh, for sure.
Like Tony, like I wouldn't say Tony's equal to Brett Favre, but like he's kind of close to him in terms of like how good he was at his best, which is insane. It's insane.
The amount of pressure that he handled and like got through all the pressure that he got is insane. He had so much pressure on him and he worked through it.
Yeah. And like that Cowboys team, it wasn't as good as people thought. And that was, I think that's why people still give Cowboys fans tons of hate, just because of like that era. They were building up that team when it was really just Tony going off. Like, didn't play a lot of defense either. Like,
keep up that hate in the Super Bowl. That's all I got to say.
Yo, I'm going to get off, man. I got to take a shower.
No worries.
Yo, Johnny, have a great weekend. Thanks for coming on and going hard, man.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one, guys. Good luck.
Yo, guys, hit the like button before you leave.
Like and subscribe. Take it easy.
Yo, peace.